Welcome, friends and listeners. We're your hosts, Spongy Kitten, Peppy Pony, and the Yam Burglar. And you're listening to the Get Gooder podcast. The only oh, dude, that does show up well. Nice.
Yeah.
The only podcast where we learn you how to get more gooder.
And in today's episodes, we're going to talk about two topics. One, a very in the know topic.
I think we should do
topic.
a disclaimer for this one.
As in,
listener discretion advice, because it's not a topic that people.
This is an 18 and up podcast.
Well, not only that, who cares if it's 18 and up? Like, this shit's super offensive.
Okay.
Not what we're saying is offensive, but what we're talking about has happened to these people. Some people might not want to hear that shit. So.
Okay. I'll get you. Listener discretion is advised.
I feel like we should do that before every episode. A deep voice like that. Viewer discretion is advised.
So we're going to talk about.
We talk about some wild shit. I mean, like always. I agree with you. Definitely triggering memories. Definitely.
Yeah, this is super triggering kind of stuff. So.
Possible.
So we're going to talk about the Activision scandal going on. It's public knowledge, so I feel we can talk on it without really causing trouble.
Yeah, it is public knowledge.
And then in the second episode, like promised, me and Fields and Cameron can give a little input as well because, you know about MMOs as well. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about New World. It finally came out, and we've been playing the preview pretty steadily. So we can give sort of a review from what is more of a lower level of the game.
Yeah, not a
more than an upper level because we'll get into that. Anyways, we'll go ahead and open it up.
All right.
Yeah.
So like we said, listener discretion advised. We're going to talk about the Activision scandal. And it's nothing anybody wants to hear, but these things need to be talked about. Because you have to hold corporations to a certain standard. Multi-billion-dollar corporations that entrust a lot of, well, we'll say a lot of the public trusts them to put out products that they want to use. That's one thing. Let's set aside the corporation thing, and let's just say that my fucking brain is not working.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
That's right.
My brain is slow right now. I had almost died like an hour ago, people, so I'm still in a recovery state.
The heat is real out here.
Almost had a full-on fucking heat stroke earlier.
Yeah.
And I'm still I'm very low energy right now. So, anyway, we'll try to keep up. I wanted to be so passionate about this too. I wanted to fucking yell and shit. All right, so.
Well, it'll get there.
Yeah. So here's the issue is that once again, power corrupts people, right? And these billion-dollar corporations that you want them to be accountable for the fucked up shit that they do, whether it be business-wise or personal or political.
That's right.
And so many times these things kind of fly under the radar because they have systems in place.
People sign non-disclosure agreements. People get, things get swept under the rug via bribes and money. Like, this stuff really does happen. So.
Yeah. So it's not. We can do you can go to a try shot if you want to.
Okay.
It's not. Like I said, I gotta literally gather my thoughts right now.
It's not what you think.
Well,
it's what you know.
Well, it's not good for. I mean, as far as who this is good for, it's literally no one. But it just makes them look bad.
Which they already do anyway.
Exactly, which is not necessarily a bad thing because these types of things coming out, yeah, they're awful to hear, and the people who were involved maybe don't want their business out there and things like that. But the public needs to know about this shit. It needs to be talked about that. These billion-dollar corporations clearly think that there is no rules because they have so much money and so much power that they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want to. This is not the fucking case. So we're going to get into the scandal a little bit.
Baby.
Here's the thing about billion-dollar corporations is it probably happens across all of them.
Oh, yeah. And we don't ever hear about it.
Yeah.
But, the ones that are talked about are the ones that actually come to light.
Mm-hmm.
So, They got cut up. They got cut up. Now.
Got cut up.
They got cut up. No, they got caught
They're
up
about
now.
to get cut up.
Yeah,
that's
they're
a
about to get
fact.
cut
They're
up.
really about to get cut up.
From a gaming standpoint, Activision.
The
doesn't
budget's
need
about to
be-
get cut up. The customer service is about to get cut up. The whole
Yeah.
company's about to get cut up.
Oh, yeah.
It's about to suck. It
from-
already sucks.
From a
but-
gaming standpoint, Activision has needed to be out of the game for a while. They supply a lot of money to a lot of corporations and of gaming corporations, but in the past couple years, how many games have they
What do
actually
we know
done
Activision
well
for
with?
besides Call of Duty?
Call of Duty,
What do
they
we know
did.
Activision for?
They did Anthem.
Come on, I know
Activision
they've
was
done
an
a
Anthem, and
couple-
Anthem died
Oh,
immediately.
Lord.
I thought it was EA.
R.I.P.
Was it EA?
I
EA
think
was
it was
Anthem.
EA.
Was it EA? I thought it was Activision.
EA
No, it was
have
EA.
struggled with their shooters, man. Star Wars struggled.
Then maybe it's EA
Anthem
I'm thinking about.
struggled.
Did you give me your brain mush?
No, but trust me, EA is
the
Anthem.
brain mush.
Okay,
Let
then
me
EA.
eat.
My fault. That was wow.
Well,
But Activision, I know
Activision
they've made some other games.
also owns Blizzard, so it's Activision Blizzard now.
Yes. Yep.
So WoW is also Activision.
Well, Call of Duty is a good enough example to know that they've shit the bed.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You let your flagship game, like the face of your brand pretty much just suck. Like Warzone is okay. It's not good, but it appeals to the masses because it's okay. And there's nothing really that is competing with it right now.
Look how close
But
that is to connecting. Do you see that? Do you see
Where?
the light? The light is almost perfectly
oh, it does
together.
on the
It's
on the
so
split.
close.
I
It
see
does.
what
It
you're
just
saying.
looks
Yeah,
like
true. It almost
you're
looks
right.
like
It's
we're
so close.
sitting
It looks
up
like I'm
and
just
down
sitting
from
on
each
top
other.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was, you could just reach up and touch me. Yeah, you're right.
that'd have been
great.
funny if you would
So-
have seen it from
You
his
see a
screen.
hand.
Activision got their start with arcade games in the 80s. Activision did skateboarding games. After that, I think they were doing a lot of.
Tony Hawk games.
No,
Isn't it-
no, that wasn't.
No, I think
They
that was
did,
Neversoft. Spider-Man. There we go.
They did a roller. Were they on that rollerblading game though? I think Activision was a part of that rollerblading game. I can't remember what it's called, but there was a game where it was like Tony Hawk, but it was like rollerblading.
I know
instead.
exactly what you're talking about.
You do. It's called like inline something.
And are you talking about the
Inline
one that was
skating?
more like animated? It looked more like a cartoon or a comic book.
I think so. I'm trying to think back to what the graphics exactly look like.
Was it a dog?
Sounds really the same. It sounds the same. Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what we like to hear.
Okay.
Audio's okay. Yeah, well, that's because we fixed the fucking problem from last week. It was an easy fix too.
If you tuned in last week, we'll go ahead and get this out.
Yeah, let's talk about
out
it.
of the way. He said he still hears background white noise, so I don't know if that's.
It might just be. I mean, I can hear like a and that might be catching on the laptop.
But the laptop mic shouldn't be playing.
Oh, there should be no audio?
No, the laptop mic has zero audio coming
Pull
through.
up the stream
But-
right now as well.
Still hear the AC. Well, I guess the AC is just going to be in the background.
Oh, the fucking AC is always going to be
So
there. Yeah.
last week, when we
You
were
see how
running
much
the
soundproofing
podcast-
we put in?
Yeah.
I don't know what else we can do
Yeah,
to negate.
we have
sound
about
of the
$100 worth of soundproofing
I do
in this room,
believe that a door will eventually,
which
actually cut some of
doesn't
that
sound
out.
like a lot, but
It could have been a lot worse.
there's about 100 pieces of soundproofing in this room, so we've done the max we can do. But the thing we ran into last week was when pulling up the program to run the podcast, I had forgot to bring up our audio program, so it was pulling through the laptop mic. So if you listen to
None
last
of the mics were on except for the laptop.
the
mic.
laptop mic picked up everything.
We
So if
were
you if you tuned in last week, then it was dog shit. But you can still go listen to the podcast. You might be able to hear mostly my part of the conversation.
we're still working some kinks out. So listen, cut us some slack.
Yeah.
You have no option.
But go ahead and get that out of the way. Anyways, continue.
So,
I just made you lose.
all
your
right,
train of
we're
thought.
gonna have to take a little pause. Technical difficulty. We're gonna stop for a second. Low key, I'm dead ass serious.
Bet. We'll be back.
Okay.
That's literally like that's
So,
life.
we're gonna take about a 10-minute intermission. I know we just started. That's perfectly fine. I promise, it's perfectly fine. We're gonna take about a 10-minute intermission. We're gonna continue this.
We're gonna get some food.
Yeah, we're gonna get some food.
Get replenished.
We're gonna continue the Activision talk next week.
We're still, no. We're gonna do the Activision thing. It can definitely be condensed. It was gonna be hard to stretch that into an hour anyway. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I don't give a shit to just say exactly. I have no energy right now. I need to collect myself. I about fucking died earlier today, and I'm trying to like get back into the zone. Mm-hmm. I need to like rest for a minute. Because my body is on zero right now. I can't even think.
Yeah, well, it's
Real
perfectly
life.
fine. Yep. We're gonna put it on intermission. We're gonna go main screen for a little
I'm
bit.
also exaggerating. I didn't almost die, but heat stroke is
He
very
was
serious.
nearly missed by a javelin.
Yeah,
thrown at
don't
him by his mortal
don't.
enemy.
It's disclaimer right now. Don't go outside and do shit. Don't
hot.
don't
It's very hot.
because you're gonna fuck. Especially
Well, depending
then
on
don't
what
get
part
into
of
a
the world
100
you're in.
degree car and try to drive after you do it. Because I straight up about died.
Yeah. So we're gonna put out intermission. We're gonna go get replenished, get some water, get some of all that good stuff. The first entry to the podcast, we're gonna pick it back up. It's gonna be a lot shorter of an episode, and then in the second episode,
Yeah, I don't know
it'll
how
probably
we
be
would
short.
have made a whole episode out of that.
I don't
thing
either.
anyway.
I've really got about
That could be
5
a 15
minutes
to
of
20 minute
material.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a shorter one this week. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. I think honestly that the New World part will be a bulk of what is.
I
gonna
believe so
happen.
as well. Yeah. From what we,
I have quite a bit to talk about.
yeah, I'm sure you do.
So
I've got some.
just respect what we're doing
Respect the hustle.
and shut your mouth. Just sit there and wait on us. That's
Literally,
what you're doing
shut
anyways.
Respect
Why
the
you-
hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect the hustle. All right, we'll be back. What's up, guys?
All right, what up? We're back. We've actually been here the whole time.
The guy scooting back and
Ooh,
shutting
almost literally
his finger in the door.
cramming himself.
We're back. You may notice
We back.
it's raining here. That's why I'm a little wet.
It is raining,
raining.
heavily indoors. It tends to do that when you exercise
Nice of you to join us,
thoroughly.
sir.
All right, am I live again?
Yeah. It's only been for like 3 minutes.
25 minutes, gotcha.
We would have been live the whole time.
Yeah.
We never left downstairs. It's all the daydream. Shared daydream. How creepy would that be, though? If you have that experience with people? You all just woke up at the same time?
A shared daydream?
Mm-hmm. It's not even real. Are shared dreams real? Not to completely derail the topic. We're going to get into a completely different episode, but do you think shared dreams are real? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've heard of shared psychedelic experiences, but I don't know. Shared dreams? Maybe. Imagine if you had a dream that you saw your buddy and then your buddy also had a dream you saw you. Now, that'd be cool. It'd be cool as fuck.
All right.
Shared dreams are... I feel like there's some validity to them. Because something as simple as... Okay, so if we were to, like, put on helmets that could read our brainwaves, which is very real. That is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would... certain and it's not specifically like a fucking wave that comes out of your head, but it's like they just essentially like read neurons. So if I put on one and you put on one and we sang a duet, our neurons would sync up. Our fucking brain wavelength, we would literally be on the same wavelength just singing a song together. That's weird. That's fucking wild. So shared dreams, there's no like real scientific proof to them, but there's a lot of validity to it. That shit can really happen. Like, or you ever like told someone, dude, I had this crazy ass dream last night and you were in it, and they're like, that's weird. I had a crazy ass dream and you were in it.
I do have one experience. Yeah, exactly. But naked with a chicken mask on.
I'm not going to say any names, but I vividly remember.
I already know what you're saying.
Yeah, waking up at our friend's, one of our friends' house.
This is great.
And we were all staying the night together. We all woke up around the same time, and he goes, dude, I had a dream that we had sex last night. And I was like, what? Now, I'm not going to put any names, nothing in there. But he woke up, looked at me, in my eyes. I was waking up.
He searched into your eyes for
He
your soul.
said, I had a dream that we had sex last night. And I go, that's probably something you should have kept to yourself. Honestly. Because I didn't want to hear it. That's no homophobic stuff.
No, but genuinely.
Well, we were
I
also like
understand
13 or 14.
You really don't. Like,
14
I would
at
be
the
better
oldest.
off not knowing that.
Yeah,
Like, I don't need
would
to
rather
hear
not
that
know.
thought. You know?
Did not need to know it. I won't put any names out there.
That's funny.
Okay, so back to the Activision scandal.
I think
Looked
he
you
would
right in
laugh
the
if he heard
eyes.
it, though.
He
probably
was searching
would.
for like the go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
If he heard this, he would fucking laugh because he knows. He'd be like, that was me.
They know exactly.
I said that. Yeah.
The person I'm talking about knows exactly who it is.
They got a good sense of humor. I think
So
they find it
random.
funny.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, so I guess we're going to get back into... I guess we'll talk about the Activision thing, right? We'll condense the Activision thing and talk about New World. All right. So here is what we know. We know that there have been sexual misconduct allegations coming from Activision for a long time. We know that the state of California has been trying to build a case against them for a couple of years, and they've got a lot on them now. There's a lot... this is definitely holding water.
Mm-hmm.
So in the report they read, this was exactly what it said. There is a frat house mentality in the Activision workplace. This was a quote. Now this quote did not have a name, but this was used in court. So what exactly does that mean? Now, most of the people that work at Activision are men. Does this blow anybody's mind? No. Do I think it's all men because the patriarchy and because only men are hiring men? No, it's because it's video games. Demographically,
Right.
more men play video games than women. More men make video games than women. That's why Activision has more developers that are men. It's that simple.
Who wants to play a woman's game?
I agree. I highly agree. Let's go in depth.
Let's go real in depth.
Now
Shout out
now
to
you've
female
become
viewers.
them.
We respect you. We love you.
Yes, this is a full-on joke.
It is.
I feel
So-
like we shouldn't have to say that, but it is.
Oh yeah, obviously that's. So,
Yeah, I know. It should go without saying. It should.
But you have to.
but we got you gotta obviously that was not. There was nothing serious about saying that. So, a lot of women have come forward. Some have actually put out their name. I have no reason to put out their name because, like I said, it's public knowledge. But some women have used their name to say that they've been sexually harassed for years at Activision Studios, as
Now,
far
is
as
that
on the publishing team and on the development team.
Or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, for like FOR years.
4.
FOR years. Long time this has been a serious fucking problem.
4 grand.
Women have tried to come out, I'd say since probably 2015, 2016. But if they just keep getting shut down or they keep on, this all gets swept under the rug. Now, like I said, the state of California has been building a case against them. That's how you know this shit's real. For 3 years they've been building a case, gathering evidence. Now they have enough. They're getting sued, and they're getting fucking sued big time. Now, their response. Activision's response to all of this, before I get into the literal, the nitty-gritty of what the fuck was going on, their response was, we deny everything. It was that simple. They said,
That
we don't
shows
want to
guilt.
comment
Come on, yeah, come
on
on,
specific employees, but we deny everything. If that doesn't already tell you how guilty that they know they are, because it's not like
Did not
the
have
men
sexual relations with
that woman. Yeah. It's not like the men that
Completely
work
lying.
there are the ones saying no comment. It's the lawyers telling them this. It's the fucking CEOs. It's the vice presidents. It's the hierarchy saying, hey, don't fucking talk. We're going to handle this. No comment. It's all lies. That's billion-dollar corporations. Of course, they're going to say that. There was...
Who would come out and go, it's all the truth?
You know what?
Yeah.
She's right.
Honestly,
Everything.
She's right.
honestly,
We're stepping
it
down.
would
Here's the
be-
company.
It would be smarter to say that because
It
then people would be
really
like,
would, though.
well, is it really true? Because they
You-
just came out and just said yes.
Own up to it and then save yourself. Yeah, you're going to be shamed, but you're going to be
somewhat-
shamed way less than when it's already going to come to light anyways.
But I'm saying
otherwise
from
they
like
wouldn't have a real case.
a reverse
you know?
psychology standpoint, you think of it as getting all this stuff blamed on you and you just go, yeah, I did it. And then they're like, well, did he? Well, did they? Did they actually do it? Because now, why would they say they actually did do it?
I can understand that, or like.
But
is
the
it to
courts will take
extent
that as a
it's being
confession
made
and you're
out
fucked through the
Yeah.
court system.
to be. I don't
But
know.
then you could say you said it with sarcasm.
That's always true.
I
I
sarcastically said
admitted
yes,
to
we did.
murder in my rap song. It was just sarcasm. Shauna would have nine times.
That's one of the greatest Key and Peele skits of all time. That is
guys
fucking
have-
amazing.
that
He's
was
like,
rent-free in
I'm
my
in the interrogation room right now, lying to the police, and he's not talking,
got
but
the
it's on the
secret
song.
tape.
And then the officer's like, "How are you doing that? How are you doing that? You're recounting events that are happening right now, and you're not talking." He's just looking at him. The police is talking to me right now. It's fucking hilarious.
I like the one where it's the posters in the background and he's sitting.
Yes,
They're sitting in the room.
My name is Coffee Coop. Yeah, and so he thinks he's fucking with a detective because he's talking about all the posters behind him, but really the detective is fucking with him because all the posters behind the.
So dumb. So dumb.
I'm losing my patience, all that shit.
That movie is a classic. The Usual Suspects, though, if you have not seen that movie, do yourself a favor.
Keanu?
The Usual Suspects with
Oh, that.
Is that like
that's what it's
actually
based
from-
off of. That's
Oh,
what it's
okay.
based off of. The skit is based off of that movie,
Oh.
which is phenomenal. I'm telling you, a genuine, like at least 8 out of 10 movie. Genuine, one of the best movies I've ever
If
seen.
you
The
haven't
Usual
watched
Suspects.
that Wire skit,
Kevin
the
Spacey.
Wire
That's
skit,
what I was thinking of.
where they pull up and they're supposed to like do a drive-by, and Jordan's like, "We gotta go home." He goes, "What?" He goes,
Shit myself.
My pants. As they're pulling up to a drive-by.
It's like a 60-second skit. Yeah. He's like, what?
He goes,
Pull my pants, dog.
I got poop in my pants right now. And he goes, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yes,
Yeah.
there is poop in my pants."
We gotta go on.
Okay,
I
go
can't
ahead,
do
go
this.
back.
I can't go do it.
Oh man, it's good.
Oh, that's funny.
So, where was I at?
Activision.
Activision, they said we deny everything.
Okay, yeah. So,
Sorry, I got us off on a tangent.
hold on. No, y'all can talk for a minute. I'm
Shit my
fucking.
pants.
Scramble brain again. Sorry.
Whew.
What's another?
My stomach's also killing me too. I don't know what the fuck that's about.
The,
I might just be ill, which I just had a fucking sinus infection, so I
That's
hope I'm
possible.
not sick. I
mean,
fucking
that's
hope
very
so.
possible as well.
What's another good key and pill?
The one where he comes over to his house and there's literally like magic shit going on in the
Oh,
apartment.
yeah.
I'm talking about. It's like he pulls out the lightning in a bottle. Like he pulls out just the dumbest
What about
artifact.
the country music?
This is the cat's pajamas, and his cat has PJs on.
Yes.
Have you seen the country music one?
All the sayings and metaphors are brought to life. Yeah, I have.
Where Keegan, he's like
He's playing
he
a
plays the
I
guitar,
love country
but his
music. It's
songs
all
are
racist.
Very racist.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Howdy, dolly dee, get me a rope and find me a tree. Okay, and he's like,
Yeah.
shut it down. I'm done listening to your racist music. And he goes, Ray, I'm trying to sing about a fucking tire swing. Yeah.
I'm trying to sing about a tire swing. Nobody thinking I'm racist.
And then what? Keegan leaves, right? Or I mean, Jordan leaves, and he goes, and he just strums the guitar and gather around the boys. We're gonna have ourselves a hang. Oh damn! Now I see it. He's like,
Well, I said bitch,
Yeah.
and they go all the way out to
said-
space.
B. Why he's floating in
You said
space?
it, though. You said it,
B.
though.
So much better at when you're married, when you when you feel the pressure.
He's like, oh, but you said that though. Oh,
Huh?
Yeah, I definitely.
You said bitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I looked her right,
Right
in the,
in the
soul
windows of her.
windows of her soul.
Yeah. And I said, and yeah, he just floats out into space. B. All right. Like I said, to gather myself.
What a great skit show.
The worst
Truly,
part
one of the
about all of this with
One of the
Activision,
best of all time. Top 3.
and this is the true listener discretion, is the loss of life. This is the part that people don't want to hear about. So, one of the females who was harassed for years and brought this up many times, couldn't get it anywhere. She killed herself recently on a fucking business retreat. On a business retreat. Killed herself. There were nude pictures of her going around the entire business retreat with people that did not even know her, that they were meeting at this retreat. All the men had nude pictures of her, sent them all around. Now, what I'm about to say is a little rough, but this is what was in the report. I'm making a quote. This is what was in the fucking report. They had brought... This word is funny. Some people are going to hear this and laugh. I get it, but I'm just quoting. They had brought butt plugs. Like the men had brought butt plugs, and they were going... The plan, for whatever fucking reason, was to put... like I said, this is not a story. This is not a word of mouth. No, man, like I'm reading the fucking report that they have filed, like the investigation. So we're talking officers and detectives wrote this shit down, not someone who tweeted this. So this is, I know it's in bad taste, the word is, but...
There needs to be a better word for it.
Essentially, they brought sex toys, but the word that they used that they were all really looking forward to using on her, and this was supposed to be some big thing, was they were going to put a butt plug in her and record that. And they were going to like have her like blackmailed forever. These are people who will sit around and bitch about they don't want to make an anti-cheat for their game. They want to sell you micro DLC. But really, a lot of these people don't give a shit about human life at all. Because power and money corrupts even the best of people. Were these men normal before they worked at Activision? I don't fucking know. I'm just telling you the shit that they do now. And it's like, okay, you're being very general. You're making a broad statement here. You saying all men that work at Activision are pigs? No, that's not what I'm saying either. But I'm saying a scary fucking number of them are.
Probably. Yeah.
The women that have
Even
come
in the-
out and talked about the shit that happens in the workplace, they do these things called drunken floor crawls over the holidays. Now,
Even
listen to
the
this shit.
minuscule amounts of, even if it was a very small minority, that's still a scary amount of men in a company that would do that. Even if
Zero
it's
tolerance.
even if it is the minority, any amount is too many.
Yeah.
That would wish that on somebody or want to do that on
Yep.
somebody.
So, they would do these things called drunken floor crawls. This was also in the fucking investigation. Where they would get women so drunk, and they would make sure that they couldn't walk. And they would tell them, now, did they force the alcohol down their throat? No. That's the only part that was consensual, was the fact that the women were just drinking. But they would encourage them to drink so much to the point where they couldn't walk. And then they would have to crawl everywhere. And the game that they would play was that you would crawl from cubicle to cubicle, and whatever guy was in that cubicle would be doing something illicit. He'd be jerking off or showing his ass or watching porn. And if the woman was into that, then they would do whatever. This was reported by like 20, 30 women that worked there, that these things did happen like almost at every holiday. They were called floor crawls. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's so
How
weird.
is this
That's so
shit
creepy.
even allowed to happen? Oh, it's exactly. It's creepy more than it is fucked up. That's
from the
some
top down,
sex cult shit.
It's from the top down.
It
Because a
is.
good boss would never allow that. So it's the boss. It's the boss's boss. Somebody, they have to know about it. There's no way that happens and like somebody is not aware of it. Maybe that's just,
Especially
it's dirty. It is. It's filthy.
At a
you know?
company party, though, you're talking about
Yeah.
holiday parties. That's where everybody's there.
Yeah.
That is the company.
I
is
just don't
there.
understand. Like, how has this happened for so long and been an issue and not come to light before? They've done a good job of suppressing this. Then it's crazy that stuff like this happens and it has to happen again and again and again and again before legal matters can finally take place.
Because money can suppress a lot.
It takes so long to build up a case to even come to light without like straight video evidence. So stupid.
Because these.
But people have been going through this dumb shit for years. Years of knowing this shit is happening and they can't do anything. Oh, there's, we're taking care of it. We're trying.
These corporations
Takes
have
fucking years to build that case.
billions of dollars, which is why it's called a billion-dollar company, to pay for the lawyers who can then, they know the law well enough to work their way around it.
Which
they know
is
the
coming.
loopholes.
Legal fees are coming, which means budget cuts are coming, which means decreased quality of games. But who cares because their games are low quality anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when
know?
you look at...
Who cares if the company falls apart? Like, they really need to rework anyways. The only thing that's probably good coming out of them is going to be Diablo 4. That's really the only thing I can think of.
The shit
Overwatch
that they're
2
doing
had a decent amount of hype.
reflects the passion that they have for their games. It all reflects. Activision they're fucking scum. They are scummy. EA is scummy. How much do we just sit around and shit on some of these publishers for being complete shitholes? Mm-hmm. And then this comes to light. And it's like, all right, is anybody surprised that this is what they do? They don't give a fuck about their product.
It puts the whole game publishing / developing industry on watch now.
Also, Zach said that he likes your beard.
Thank you.
And Blake.
Thank you.
We were gone because we took a break.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing a fucking workout session.
Yeah.
We did.
But we had to take a break because I
did
I had no fucking energy, man. I about had a damn heat stroke earlier, so I had I'm still low key gathering myself, but the heat is not fucking around right now, man. If you can't think straight, trust me, it's on the verge of happening. If your fucking brains is not working. Anyway,
it puts the gaming industry at a halt, one, and two on watch at this point, because now, it happens to a big corporation. Not saying it happens at every corporation, which it more than likely, I'm gonna give it 70%.
I thought
probably
of a comparison
doesn't.
immediately, and my mind went to Rockstar. Like, I wonder if Rockstar game has similar.
And
I don't know
the
why.
funny
I
thing
don't know
about
why, but it
Rockstar
just-
is like they could
know?
release these very X-rated games and just be the most gentleman company that you ever known. You
Yeah.
just don't know. But
you guys hear that?
I do.
Okay, I'm making sure my ears weren't ringing. I'm about to be like, damn, are my ears are fucking ringing now?
I mean, you gotta think about.
Yo, that is rough. What is
I
that
don't
sound?
know.
Is it coming from our microphones?
Can you all hear that?
Is that coming from the setup?
I don't know. It wasn't making that noise before.
Is it coming from the laundry
I feel like
room?
it's above us. Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's not coming from our setup.
So, at what point do you got it? So here's the thing. If other corporations, not as big as Activision, but lesser corporations are hopefully not even close to on par, but are somewhat doing these things. This is a shitty way to think about it, but they now have to tread lightly. Which
yeah, you're right.
Okay,
I know what you're saying.
That sounds horrible with what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
But I feel like this is going to
agree.
put a lot of corporations in watch.
You better fucking
A lot
ham
of
it
them.
up if you do have issues, you know.
Because Activision is one of the biggest, if not the biggest. And if they come down from this, if they actually get cracked down, which more than likely I would say they probably will.
Something will happen. Will they get what they deserve? No. But something will happen.
Not.
But okay. So that came out a lot
No,
worse than I meant for it to
know
come
what you
out.
meant.
I just mean like.
And I share the same sentiment. The same.
I'm just speaking straight from thought. Is how it's coming out. You got to think from a business standpoint. I mean, some rules
exactly.
and regulations
You're
are going to
watching
have
it
to start
happen, so
changing.
now
Yeah,
you know.
You might have let a couple things slide in the past. It was just like which this even sounds worse again.
Saying like
But
the fucking
like
Wolf of Wall Street out here, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like in a sense, like the Me Too movement.
Yeah,
it's
it
going
is.
to
When it rains, it
erupt
pours,
into
baby.
that.
Yeah.
In a good way, in a good way for.
There are good and bad. There's good and bad.
There's good and
sure.
bad, but like the good that comes from it is these people get not the justice they deserve, but somewhat the justice they.
True. There were people being.
Whatever justice they get is deserved. At this point, now to the scale that they're doing it, probably not as bad. I mean, I don't know how much money they're making, but if which this is also a bad comparison. If Wolf of Wall Street is any stipulation as to what happens once you run into that amount of money, stupid shit
go.
happens, and it's been put on blast. Which really great movie.
Oh,
now
yeah,
the things that happen in
one
the
of the
movie,
best movies of our time is gonna be a cult classic. I think so.
The realism that comes with the movie is what makes it great. But some of that stuff, man, you don't think it happens, but it really does. I mean, that movie, he basically put it all out there.
It's real life.
Literally put it all
came
out there.
right out of his mouth.
And, literally what he just said, that's some Wolf of Wall Street shit.
I bet there was even more
drunken
wild
floor
shit.
crawls.
For sure.
That's some straight from the book Wolf of Wall Street
cocaine's
shit.
heavily involved. Drugs are probably heavily involved.
Yeah.
Come on now, you're not doing that kind of shit sober. Even off the alcohol, like that's some like morally questionable shit. So,
even off
like,
the
what
alcohol,
are you really getting into?
Even off the alcohol, how much do you
fucked
have to drink to be where you can't
You're
walk?
doing some weird shit. Like you got somebody behind you when you're doing the crawl. Like
you got somebody behind
that's
you.
weird. So now
you
you
got
see
somebody
Kendra from fucking like HR watching you. Like
I mean,
I don't want to get graphic with it. It's just weird.
It's like some what's it called? No see, no something, no.
See no evil, speak no evil, hear no all that
something
shit.
like that. That's some shit like that.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. That's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
That's that out of sight, out of mind shit. How do you, as a normal functioning human being, money aside, you have to have some sort of morality to realize that if somebody is crawling, a woman, male, whatever, whether the woman is flicking her bean or the male is jacking his shit in the
Jacking his stalk.
Yeah,
That's good.
jacking his beanstalk. Whether he's doing that or she's doing whatever she's doing, I don't know if males were involved in the drunken floor crawl. If they were doing it,
Probably
maybe,
fucking
maybe
leading the
not.
way, yo, dummies. They're probably
Yeah.
getting them to go into it, so they're doing it first. Like, look, it's fine. We're all
but
having fun.
at what point of you have to step back and think about your own morality. How do you go home to a wife
These
and
people are
kids,
scummy, man.
or a wife, or maybe
These
you
people
don't
are
have
like
either?
that too, though. Like that's
Um,
I don't think that's very uncommon. Not to be very prejudiced, but like that's been a stereotype for a long time, portrayed in the media
Yeah.
as well. Is that like some of the rich, powerful people do that? They go out and they have escorts and they go visit women, and it's not really held.
But you have
Held
to
to it,
question your
you
own
know? The
morality
wife accepts
and
that.
step back and think
Some weird
about
shit.
like this guy is beating his shit in the thing next to you, and you're watching this woman crawl into it. That's so
Yeah,
weird.
true.
That's such a weird
True.
to even try to imagine what that scenario looks like. That is weird. Like
I wonder, so
like-
many people probably just got absorbed into it, and that's why it didn't come to light sooner. So many people were like, oh, that's fucking weird, but damn, I love my job. They pay me to not do a fucking thing here,
And
so
that's
I'm not going to say anything.
that's the thing. They
You
probably
know,
pay
like-
well enough that people just
They
don't say
probably
shit.
do. They probably
And if it
do.
doesn't happen to them, then they don't care because that's it. They're making their money, so they shut their mouths so they can keep making good money. And they
bet.
probably hand out healthy raises for
I
the people
bet.
who keep their mouths more shut than others. I mean, that's just that.
I would love to see all of this actually be true and come to light, and like we learn the inner details of the case
Yeah.
and everything we just said
Oh
is
well,
true.
it'll probably come to light.
Who knows? We're
before
probably
the year's up.
We're probably close.
If not, like beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Good. I hope they get hit with a heavy fine. Heavy.
I think.
Well,
And they rework their company because they put out shit games and they need to do better. So they need to readjust. They need to re-strategize and rebrand and do something because they're, in my eyes, failing as a gaming like powerhouse. You know.
I think and of course, you got to think, why are they failing? You said what, 2014, 2015, 2016, around that era?
well, how long this shit's really been a problem, and women have been trying to get it out there.
But how long before then was it actually happening? Who knows?
Who the fuck
Who
knows?
knows at what
It's
point?
probably been a part of the company.
Probably just part of the inner culture.
Yeah.
And they've been. Now, I don't want these things to seem like they actually correlate, but how long have they been putting out these shit games? You got to think there's some sort of distraction in between there.
That is,
and obviously
link it.
a very big distraction. That's fuck your mind up distraction. That's
true.
going home.
lose focus, lose sight of the.
Not even losing focus. That's going home and losing, like, what's this word I'm looking for? Losing your conscience almost. Like you have to zone it out and you go blank.
You're right.
Like you're numb to it at some point. And that's not something you should ever become numb to because somebody's paying you any amount of money. Which
you're killing yourself. Or you're
you
killing
should-
a piece of your soul. You know, like when
You
you
should
let
know.
shit like that happen. It does. It weighs down.
money does not. At the end of the day, money's great. But just like in this situation, guess what happens? You get caught up, money's no longer coming in, and guess where you're at? Where money never comes in.
Yeah, at the end of the day, doing what is right is most important.
Do what's
Always.
Just this turned into like
I know, like advice.
yeah,
like,
the advice podcast. But do what's morally right. I mean, that sounds so cliche, but literally, just
Look out
step
for
back
people.
and think about what's going on.
Right.
Nobody with looking like LeBron's. Come on now, man. It's not that bad.
yeah, hold up. Hey, whoa, watch
It's
you
just the
talking about
lighting.
me.
It's just the lighting. Actually, every male on my dad's side is bald. So, but
Let me be special guest next week. All right.
yeah, you can be special guest next
It's actually a
For
bit.
sure. Yeah, for
but-
sure.
on some real shit. I mean, we can touch on a couple more things on it, but I mean, like, honestly, like,
No, there's really not much else to go on because we don't need to speculate because now we're a part of the problem.
I mean,
I'm not
We
necessarily-
look at no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we don't need to say and what if this happened too and did this happen. Well, I'm just
Was I given the ands and what ifs? Because
no, I'm just saying where I'm.
no, I don't think so.
This
Normal.
all came from a fucking police report.
And to be
Not even a
completely
fucking police
honest,
report, an investigation.
We don't know.
A public investigation.
It could all be false. We don't know 100%. Now, right? That's just how the
These
law
are
works, right?
still
Guilty or
technically,
innocent until proven
legally,
guilty.
these are still
So,
allegations. Yeah.
You know, who knows? Who knows?
Allegations
But-
are not. That's a very specific allegation.
Oh yeah, no, it's probably very
To
true.
have,
It's
to
very.
have a name for it.
It's just-
to have a. It's called a. When have you ever heard of a?
And
drunken
also,
floor
it's no
crawl?
allegation that woman killed herself.
Well, yeah.
And it's no allegation that they found all the text messages about, planning on essentially fucking molesting her and recording the entire thing.
But here's the thing: at what point does it become an allegation where there's a name for what you're doing?
Well, legally,
A
it's an allegation. That's the thing.
Yes, legally it's an allegation. But have you ever heard of a drunken floor crawl? Have you ever heard of a drunken floor crawl?
No.
No.
I would like
Do
to
I
think-
believe personally that all this shit happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And-
along
and
the lines of
how,
like hazing or something.
How hazing is to a
it's
certain
close.
extent.
It's close. I know what you're talking about, like sexually hazing. I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about. There is a word for
there
it.
is a point.
Yeah.
Oh,
at
it's
where
this is complete
hazing
harassment.
Is too far.
Yeah.
There's hazing, and then there's this. That's not hazing.
Yeah,
There's
hazing
poking
is like,
fun,
yeah,
like maybe
nipple twisters, or
maybe like
like
deleting
getting
somebody's
made fun
like
of.
some shit work they've been working on for like a week. That can be
Yes.
seen as like just a
Oh,
joke
that'd be-
hazing.
yeah,
I mean
that'd
that's
be
brutal.
tough.
That's
Yeah.
brutal, but not as
That-
brutal
that'd
what's
hit
been
deep.
allocated.
Yeah, true.
That's
Not
is that a word?
life-changing.
Allocated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Allocated is also a
Alleged.
word.
Yeah, that is
Allocated.
100%.
Alleged is what you should say, but
There's
allocated.
not
Allegedly.
It's sexual harassment and assault. Yeah, it
a
is.
very specific
Internal investigation by
Word?
human. Okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was an internal investigation by Human Resources, but they had the backing of literally the entire state of California. Like, because
Damn.
we're talking Human Resources took this shit to the next level. Like, they of course took this to the police and to detectives, and the detectives started doing their own investigations as well. So 3 fucking years they've been investigating this, and it just now got made public because they believe they have enough evidence. Here's the last thing that we'll talk about, and this is something that kind of flew under the radar a little bit. It was talked about a couple months ago, but then it kind of whoop. After Jeffrey Epstein's story came out, and we learned everything about that, we learned about the awful fucking human being he was and how many politicians were involved, and Epstein Island and all these things. Do you remember the black book that got released?
No.
With all the names in it?
Okay, yes. Jeffrey Epstein had a blackmail book. Now, this is common knowledge now. This is public information. A lot of the names on that list were kind of scary because a lot of these people are already in jail for some shit, or they were dead, or they're just corrupt politicians in general that we know about now. These names were going back to the 90s.
Oh, right. Okay.
One of the most recent names in the blackmail list that he had dirt on was Bobby Kotick. Do you know who Bobby Kotick is?
Nope.
Bobby Kotick is the CEO of Activision.
Oh.
Bobby Kotick allegedly, once again, legally, we got to say this so we don't get fucking sued. Bobby Kotick allegedly had close ties with Epstein and was a frequent visitor and had some frequent flyer miles to Pedo Island.
Allegedly.
So if this kind of man owns and operates Activision, an alleged fucking pedophile, paying another pedophile to have sex with underage girls on a fucking secret island, if this is the kind of guy that runs that corporation, do you think he gives a shit about sexual harassment and hazing in the workplace?
No.
Not in the
A
slightest.
fucking pedophile that deserves to be shot in the fucking head? Do you think that guy gives a shit about these women?
Allegedly shot in the head.
Allegedly, no.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
no alleged about it.
Well, if guilty.
There's no
yes.
alleged.
If guilty, yes.
If guilty, there's no alleged that he should be fucking executed. But
Yeah.
How do you, before we end it?
by
how
the
do you all feel-
way, that opinion is protected by freedom of speech.
Amen.
So we can't get in trouble. I
Amen.
cannot get in trouble for having an
Right.
opinion
No,
about someone that runs a company.
I agree with you. I agree. If guilty, yes. I
how
agree.
do you all feel?
Suffer a severe penalty.
How do you all feel? So this is taking a real
Chop your
dark turn.
fucking genitalia off.
Like, not like the fucking guillotine or shit like that. Like that's
Yeah,
crazy
no, I
shit.
mean put it in there in front of the
like-
No,
town
but
square.
let's say
Yeah,
that
like, drop
I'm
the
saying
fucking
at what point to get the fucking
BME
point
Pain
across.
Olympics shit.
Now this is me just straight out of the brain. This is not how I feel. I want y'all to understand that. I want this to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to get the point across, you have to go to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to actually do like a public execution
Oh,
of
before you.
somebody-
By the way, let me know if I'm too loud because I was like I think I was very close to the mic
doesn't
during
matter.
all that. There might have been some bad reverb off my mic.
How do you all feel to get the point across of public execution of people who are accused of such acts as in pedophilia?
Where are you asking if I would
Public
be
executions
accepting
are
of
still
it?
legal
'Cause
in the
here's the
state
thing.
of Texas. They are just not used.
As parents,
As a parent myself, yes.
as
Nikki and
parents,
Chastity's baby daddy.
if coming from the most honest place, if somebody ever touched one of my kids in an inappropriate
You're going
way,
to
I
kill
would
them.
kill them,
You're going to kill them. And you're going to,
and I would admit to it.
and most likely you'd maybe serve a 4 or 5 year sentence, nothing much, because it would go to court
No,
naturally.
no, Blake, no. Fuck public castration. I'm telling you right now, if somebody touched my kid inappropriately, I would stomp them out.
Yeah, and
Like literally.
when you
stomp
went
them
to
out.
court,
I know.
Yeah.
your lawyer, because you would be the defendant in that case, your lawyer would bring this up to the jury, that it was essentially a mercy killing or a justified killing, and then they would go even further to say that you were not in your right mental state because the PTSD you went through from your child being molested. That is also, now in some sense this can be a legal loophole, but it can help people out in this kind of situation. So you actually might only do time in a rehab facility for a few years and then get out. A lot of fathers, if you ask them to their face, would swear up and down that they'd be willing to do a couple years in a rehabilitation facility if it meant that they got to fucking murder the person that molested their child. Now,
And even with throwing.
these
them
are
in-
also in the moment thoughts.
Yeah.
In the moment, a lot of men would tell you that. And there are things in the justice system, there are things in the legal system that can help that. It's like, okay, well,
Here's the thing.
This guy's daughter got raped and murdered, and he kind of took the law into his own hands and he killed that guy. Well, justice, would say, the legal system would say this guy's got to be put in jail because he murdered someone. But during the trial, they're going to do all they can, and sometimes even the judge, to make sure that this sentence is as low as it possibly can be if the judge believes what this man did was justified. Not that it's legal American democratic justice, but that it's justice for the people kind of thing, you know? He
Well,
spent 5 years at a military rehabilitation center. They put him on fucking Klonopin or some shit.
We'll throw these million billionaires in jail. But what is really jail to them? What is their jail like? If the second they were to step in a real jail, a real prison, and the people inside of those prisons
Let's
found
get
out
real.
who they
If
were,
Bobby Kotick went to prison, yeah, bro, he's staying at a fucking Marriott hotel. He is not even in prison.
but if he was to get thrown, if he was to get thrown into a real prison,
What'd you say?
Said I don't know enough about like the high class prisons to speak about it.
Oh,
Honestly. Like
well,
I don't know. The
from
ins
what-
and outs
from
of,
what
like,
the public
rich and
understands,
elite go to jail. I don't know.
These
I
people
know there
are
difference in
treated
white-collar
like they're
and
guests.
blue collar prisons, but
but what I'm getting at is if he was to go to a real jail, a real prison, the people inside of there
They'd kill him.
would beat him on the first day.
Oh, they'd kill him immediately.
As soon as they found out what he did.
I mean, in fact, if you take a look back at a lot of serial rapists, they survive like a few months in prison before they're killed. Jared, is it Fogle? It was Jared
yes,
Fogle.
it is.
The
Yeah,
Subway
guy, yeah.
Subway guy who ended up being a fucking child molester and a pedophile. He was in jail for 2 or 3 days before they had to put him in like his own personal lockup because every man in his like block, every man in his prison block said they were going to kill him. And so the guards were like, "Well, okay." So they had to.
We gotta
so
roll you up
he's
on
been
out
in
of
his
here,
own.
partner.
Yeah, he's been in his
gonna
own
kill
cell
you.
for a
1080p
long time.
doesn't run good. 1080p doesn't run well. We have to do 780, 720.
I bet.
Oh yeah, we do have 1080p, but it wouldn't. It would be kind of choppy.
Yeah. But anyways, Jared Fogle, he had to get in his own separate thing.
Oh yeah, he had to be put in his own because they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll kill him first chance we get."
Okay, I would bring it back. This is gonna be not
Bring it
even
back, bring
maybe
it back,
slightly
bring it back.
controversial, but hopefully not because I'm in full favor of like yes, death penalty for pedophiles, but it's got to be the worst kind of pedophile. I hate to even say this, but logically you have to break down the act of pedophilia into like different categories.
Yeah, you
right?
do,
Like,
'cause there's-
is he raping a baby?
Yeah,
You know, like
there's-
that deserves death.
There's a
But is there any
statutory.
difference in raping a 4-year-old?
Is
Well,
there
hold on.
a 16-year-old
There are
that
in the eyes of the law,
that
yeah.
led somebody on and they got caught and now they're indicted with a pedophilia charge? Now I know that's obviously like no, they're not going to get killed. Okay, I get that's the other extreme end of it, right? But there's got to be like an age cutoff.
yeah, there's
Can
an
there be
age
an age
cutoff.
cutoff because the intent?
Well, it's all
the
about
intent
first degree,
is fucking
second degree, third
disgusting.
degree.
It's the intent. It doesn't matter of like the age. Can you categorize that as anyone under 12? Like, could you say that legally? You know,
If
or is
you
it
were-
anything under 18 and you have to leave it like that?
If they
No,
were to
no,
do the
because
like,
it
12
changes
is around when
the
they go
degree.
through puberty and like they become, but that's
using
still
my
fucking
laptop.
disgusting. It's still disgusting no matter what. And I think that if you do get charged with pedophilia, then you should get fucking castrated. Yes, you should get your genitalia removed. You're no longer allowed to do those things because you're a fucking disgusting individual. But I think that people who do that to children, like young innocent children who are just completely defenseless. I don't know, man, because it's the same. Like if my daughter was 13 or 14, I would still feel the same way as
Yeah.
if somebody
Well,
touched her when she's
that's the thing.
14 months old.
Once
you know?
again, there are
The
literal
hatred is gonna be the
degrees
same.
to this. We're talking about first degree, second degree, and third degree in the eyes of the law. So if someone commits statutory rape, they're essentially considered a sex offender, right? They would only be on a list for about 10 years, and they wouldn't really go to jail for very long, if at all. If someone is 18, they have sex with a 16-year-old, that's statutory, right? They would just be categorized as a sex offender. Nothing else would happen to them. They would never get charged with rape in the first degree. How do you get charged with rape in the first degree? It depends on the child's age. That is exactly what it depends on, and it depends on the severity of it. If they were beaten, if it was how physical was it? Where if we looked at the victim, are they physically in danger and harmed? A consensual sex between a 16 and 18-year-old in the eyes of the law doesn't exist because he or she is not is not old enough to consent according to the law. But you can still be considered a sex offender because of statutory rape. And then you have a man or a woman who was a serial rapist and only raped children, this is rape in the first degree, and these people will be sentenced to 20, 30 years easily. So yes, there are different types of different ways that you can punish people because of this.
I wonder if some do though. In some places, I mean, I know like the mentality is that like you go to jail and it kind of handles itself if you're a piece of shit. But I bet there are some places where even the pieces of shit scrape by and they're able to live because the guards don't allow for like that level of interaction. The shit like, yeah, it's like that in jails sometimes, but not all of them are where people are dying or killing other inmates.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know, but they all do deserve to fucking rot for doing shit like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But I think we're going to
we're gonna talk about Activision for.
We're gonna end the whole Activision thing there. The last thing I wanted to throw in as far as Activision was concerned was like
really
to bring this all back around. Like Bobby fucking Kotick is allegedly a frequent visitor on Pedo Island.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't give you the answers you need, I don't fucking know what does.
It's because that whole situation to them, to the elites, is on the hush hush.
Mm-hmm.
So they just overlook it.
Yep, that's true.
So that's just how the man or the system works.
Formulate your own opinions, people. We've just presented you with facts and our opinions.
Alleged facts.
And our opinions.
Not even facts. Alleged allegations.
Well, some of them were facts.
Okay. Well, some facts and some allegations.
Like I say, like we know that woman committed suicide. We know that the intention was to molest her. We know, like,
people
yes.
brought
The rest are allegations.
Oh, also
Bobby Kotick is also allegations.
I chuckled one time while they were talking about whatever you were talking about. I was looking at the difference where you drank your entire vitamin water and you barely touched yours. That's why I
honestly just kind of forgot. I forgot it was there, and I chugged that whole fucking water before you gave me that, so my stomach was like very full.
It looks bad. Man, fuck it, whatever.
Also, Blake, before we switch to the next episode, I have like a 1650 like Ti in this thing. I mean, I know it's not as good as a 5700 XT.
What the fuck is Blake talking about? Y'all can stream at 1080, 120 on Austin's. What's he talking about?
He's talking about using my PC in order to set the stream setup.
So
we're gonna talk about New World right now, but he's also gonna want to talk about it next week for sure. I mean, it's gonna be an easy topic. Conversation. He's gonna have his own fresh.
Well, if we talk about it next week, we can just do a New World update. I mean, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
All right.
Because
I'm fine with that too.
in between now and then, there's going to be a lot of gameplay. The CPU, I'm running it's a Ryzen 7 in this. It's a Ryzen 7. I promise you, this is like a $1,200 laptop. It can run a lot.
Mobile. No, nothing. You don't even work in tech support. Like, you don't know anything when it comes to technology.
I won't talk about it next week. We will talk about old school RuneScape. I'm okay with that.
I can speak a little bit on that.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good episode. I don't know why that hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. Okay, We're going to switch. It's going to be a very brief intermission. Go straight into the next one. And if you ain't getting good, then you better get better.
Yeah, you forgot the fucking outro, homie.
Yeet.
Now intermission. it almost never his dick.
Yeah.
He would just like put it right in his pants and snap his phone.
I do remember, which is disgusting,
Yeah.
bro. You put my phone out of your pants.
And then you would just be like, what the fuck? Because you'd see you had like a new photo, and it would just be his
Hold on,
phone.
hold on.
He did that to me a few times.
says, highly says.
Yeah. It says, look, it says default. Should I just leave it on default? Because there's no desktop audio choice. Because where we're running.
I need to get ignorant down here. This room has so much potential.
Oh,
for
dude.
anything. For anything. It's literally has so
Go
much
ahead.
potential.
No, it's not moving at all.
It moved a little bit because he came through the phone. How the fucking name looks because I passed out. What's really happening? I don't know.
All right, now try it. See if it's working now.
Nope. Yes.
Nah, it's not bringing up.
Get that shit out of here. Like, you should see what we're seeing right now. It's not a pleasant view of your butt. It makes me very mad. Very bad.
Oh, it's throttling. We're dropping hella frames.
Oh.
So what do I need to do from here?
Oh, I'm going to do the intro, though? Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome, friends and listeners. We're your Smudgy Can't Pay Pony the Hamburger.
Oh!
And you're listening to the Get Gooder podcast, the only podcast where we learn you how to get more gooder. Just to say, I've never played New World, so really this is going to be Q and Austin talking a lot about this, and I'm just going to sit here and just fucking chill because I have very low energy right now. Don't ever underestimate the sun, and I'm just going to hang out. I'm probably going to be out of camera view for a lot, or just really out of focus, or way back here just hanging. I'm just chilling.
You're going to be slow stroking?
I recommend you guys just do the single shot when y'all are talking. Because I might say a few words, but I'm just going to fucking sit here and try not to fall asleep.
Yeah. Rest, brother.
And in this episode, in today's podcast, is the second entry of the podcast. We're going to talk about New World. This is our first impressions of New World. This is the closed beta. We're through week 1. It closes August 8th, so we got about another week or so, week and a half before it shuts down. 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks before it shuts down. So,
is it?
probably at the end of the beta, I will give a full review, but not really, because it's the beta.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, we could give as best we can of the beta of what we believe the game will be, and then I mean, once you've played the beta, you have a pretty good grasp of what the game's going to be. Maybe they'll change a couple things. I don't see them doing a massive overhaul, but
Wrong one.
I think when WoW brings out its new add-ons or expansions, and the beta comes out beforehand, it's very close to
Wait,
what
is my
the
camera
end is
still
going to
on?
be.
It's off.
So,
I blocked it.
The
If
actual
I
game
want
will
to
be
say
very
something,
close.
just bring it up.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said, but
No,
yeah.
you're good. The actual game is going to be very close to what we're probably playing.
Sort
right
of.
now.
I think there's probably going to be some.
Is there a slated release date?
The
Beta
state
closes August 8th.
closes August 8th, opens August 31st. Game comes out later that month.
Dude, that's not enough time to change a lot.
They're constantly updating.
They gotta have.
They're constantly patching and updating as we play. Just bring it down. You can talk.
Dude, I know. I was just adjusting and I forgot I had no mic.
That's great.
That was hilarious.
You said, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Let me tell you something.
Betas anymore, it's the game. It's the full fucking game.
Yeah.
True, there are no real true betas anymore. They're just pre-order demos, especially for shooters and things like that. It's just pre-order demos. It's now a New World beta, that was a legit beta, right? Something like Ark or Fortnite, but you're talking like a AAA fucking like shooter or some shit. Like Call of Duty, bro, those aren't betas. Those are not betas. That's the game.
Exactly.
That's the fucking
game.
demo. It's the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be able to do a couple patches and server, stability things between, those 3 weeks that they're off.
Right.
Will they add any major content to the game? Probably not, unless they've
they
been
won't.
hiding
That's
it.
not how it works.
But okay, so to give you a timeline, I've been talking about New World since our almost very first podcast.
Yeah, it's
it's not. I might have mentioned it in the first one.
I was listening to it when I was in Texas.
That's been almost a year ago.
Yeah, so it
crazy
has
to think
been a year.
about.
Me
It's
and
crazy
Blake
to think
bought it in June of last year.
Damn.
We got to play it for 2 weeks.
Well, I'm saying the podcast has almost been a year.
Yeah.
You believe that shit?
We'll do a 1 year episode.
Okay.
Yeah, the 1 year will be in August sometime.
Sometime in August.
Well, we'll actually look. We'll look at our very first upload because I think it's like August 15th.
Is it? I think it's a little bit after that. I don't remember. I'll look it up here in a minute. But we bought this game in June of last year. Got to play it for 2 weeks, and then they promised a closed alpha, which when you hear that, you think as a purchaser of the game, you'll get a key. No. They send out specific keys to people who sign up. They have alpha testing. I signed up every week, never got a key. They close alpha testing sometime in December of last year. They open, I don't even know what you would call it. I guess they opened beta testing before they did a closed beta.
Huh.
So they opened something in the spring that was supposed to sort of, because the game was supposed to come out.
People who got the alpha key probably got reinvited.
The game was
back,
supposed
like,
to
hey,
come
check
out this spring. It did not.
Yep.
They released
I
more
remember us
testing.
talking about the delay.
pre-beta. They released a pre-beta in the spring, which you also had to get a key for, and I also signed up for that and never got a key. So as a person who bought the fucking game to finally get to play it, there's a haziness over my eyes because it's been so long, and I enjoyed it a whole lot when we played it. So now finally get to play it a year later with all this added content, of course, after adding a years of content, it seems it's in a better state than it was. So I'm coming from a standpoint where I played it in the preview, and then now I'm playing it as closed beta, about to be playing it as the full game. So from what I've noticed, there's a couple issues that need to be worked out. The optimization. They need to fix optimization. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3s.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one is optimization. Yes, like Blake is saying in the chat, it is bricking 3090s.
Yeah.
But no, it's from what I understand, not any other. Like 3090s, the best thing that's supposed to be on the market, it's bricking them.
What if there's, because it's specific code written to this graphics card to make it whatever this much more realistic, so it only affects this graphics card.
GPUs, because they don't know how to tell a GPU to stop trying to run it. Okay, well, either way, it's causing 3090s to brick.
Actually read that out loud, what he said, and try to explain what he's talking about.
He said it's all EVGA GPUs because
a valid point, whatever he's saying.
They don't know how to tell a GPU to stop trying to run at 1,000 RPMs for fans, which is causing to brick them.
Wait, so they're literally telling the fans to go into extreme overdrive.
Yeah.
Dude, that
So
shit happens with the
laptops start
PS4.
levitating. Really?
Yeah, the PS4 has a lot of, obviously not the 5. The Pro was a lot worse about it. But the PS4s have a serious problem with not being able. The fans will go crazy because the information that's being sent is not correct. So the fans will kick some shit into overdrive when you're just at the main menu of a game and you're not doing anything, and your PlayStation will go beam, 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 and you're just sitting at the main menu of a game and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you start the game and it literally goes beep, and the fan just almost totally turn off. And that's a problem that the PS4 Pros have always had, apparently. For whatever reason, whatever information is getting sent is not right. So I guess it would be, what is it, through the GPU or something?
I don't know. To be honest with you, the ins and outs of the computer.
Whatever the processor is, it's not that information is not getting sent correctly. So the fans go into fucking overdrive. It's like a turbojet when it's not supposed to.
Fans jump from 2,400 RPM to over 200,000 RPM. I can't even fathom. They would just immediately break. I don't know how they would even just continue to spin faster
in both mine and Austin's
faster.
5700 XT or EVGA. Rip.
Hey, I haven't experienced that in the game.
Okay, so Blake's saying it's the drivers. Yeah, okay.
1 is optimization. 2 is the XP, the experience. Now, I know as an MMO game, yes, you do have to, make it grindy. But
of course,
this is the problem I have with the XP. So, and you've ran into this too. The fastest way to level up is doing town board missions. They give you double, triple the XP, and it's go get 15 mana potions, go get 50 stone bricks, go kill 15 wolves. These tiny side quests give you double or triple the XP of doing something for your faction that gives you maybe max I've seen out of what we've played so far, 600 XP.
Yep.
So why am I going to go run around for 15, 20 minutes when I can literally go to the town board thing, go right down the stairs, go into the shop, buy it, and then go right back up the stairs and then get 3,000 XP for running up and down the stairs in 30 seconds. So yes, I have cheesed the fuck out of this, and I'm sure a lot of people have, because I saw it today. Somebody in global chat was like, "Is there any reason for me to be running elite faction missions because I'm getting 600 XP from it?" No, there's honestly not. There's no
wasting
real
your own time.
Yeah, you gotta go fight 5 bosses and then get 600 XP. Why? And bosses and all that stuff.
I can walk 30 seconds and get 1,200.
Bosses and monsters maybe give you the max I've seen of killing a boss is maybe like 1,000 XP if you're lucky, and I don't even think it's gone that high. Ridiculous. Corruptions, the things that are supposed to be like, big, what was big XP in the preview is giving you 600 XP each time you do it. You fight these waves of enemies, and then you're getting 600 XP on top of what XP you get, but really at the end you're maybe getting 1,000 XP. I'm getting more from going to the shop, buying mana potions, and then going to trade them in for 2,600 XP. Which is
fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a complete loophole in your game that allows people to do this. Like, yeah, it's great that you can do it to your character. I'm probably going to do the same thing. But
now that's
broken.
Yeah.
That's broken, and that should be fixed immediately.
Yeah,
like,
and
shouldn't even.
That's not to say to turn that down.
That's indicative of what may be to come with this game.
Yeah.
Which one of my gripes as well is the questing system.
Yeah, now that's not to say to turn that way down to make it like 200 XP and then make the whole game like impossible to level up.
Right.
Just there's a happy medium. If a mission's going to take you an hour to do, because third gripe that a lot of people see is kind of a petty gripe is no mounts. That's
it's a big gripe.
Oh, there's no mounts in the game?
Big gripe.
That's a serious problem.
Because system, it's a lot of
because now you've just got a walking simulator.
The fast travel system costs Azith, which is something you get.
That's kills pacing.
Yeah, so you kill things to get it. You do missions to get it.
You have a 2-hour play session. How much time do you think you're walking?
A lot. I have about 4 hours into the game, and a lot of it has spent walking. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going to get this out real quick. You can't.
Excuse me, I've actually played the game.
You can't fast travel unless you're near a fast travel shrine.
That's normal.
Or it's normal if you have mounts.
Inn, right?
Or you visit, or you're in the town's area.
Yep.
Then you can travel to fast travel spots. But not to be able to fast travel from wherever you're at. Now, I understand Elder Scrolls, you can travel from wherever you want.
Right.
If you want it to be cheaper, or you want it to be, I think, free, you go to these shrines. But it costs at the shrines. That's the problem. Now, it's not, once you get a certain amount into the game, the sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? What's another word for money?
Currency.
The currency you use, I knew it started with a C, I couldn't figure it out. The currency you use is not that hard to come by after a certain point. I'm maxed out at all points. I know it's called Azith, but I was trying to look for the actual technical term as in currency. But it's not that hard to come by. But the gripe is, if you're going to have a fast travel system and no mounts, then let me travel from wherever the hell I'm at. Because I don't want to run for 15 minutes. We were running corruptions earlier. We would run for 5 minutes to get to one, and it was already done. So we had to run to the next one, and by the time we got to that one, 5-minute run, already done. So now we have to find a shrine and go travel across the map and hope that people aren't doing that one. And sometimes, in between us going from shrine to shrine, those corruptions are starting to be done by more people.
Yep.
So, and to explain what a corruption is, there's these things across the map, which corrupted enemies.
Limited time event, right?
It's not limited time. It's until they get closed. Yeah. You basically fight these waves of enemies, and then you close the corruption, and then you get a chest for it, depending upon the level of the corruption. So the gripe I have is, if there's going to be no mounts, let me travel from wherever I want to be traveling from. Because nobody...
Highly agree.
Now, I understand it's an MMO.
It's going to get old so fast.
It's going to get old.
It's going to get old. It's going to kill your player base. Mm-hmm. People are so used to being able to move around now. Every other MMO allows it. It's not 2004, 2005. It's not old school RuneScape, where we're running around everywhere. It's people want to go fast.
I may have already said it. I don't know if the mics were on or not, but it may have already been said, but I'm not sure.
Do not tell my mic.
Hilarious.
We're going to tell everybody.
Driver updates are apparently released, so everything we were talking about earlier is solved. Hopefully. And the world is all happy again.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Allegedly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there we go.
So first thing is optimization. Second thing is the XP it needs to be figured out. If you're going to make me get 1,500 for turning in mana potions, then make me get 2,000 for running around for an hour to do the
Yeah,
mission.
incentivize me to go out and even like do the combat, like learn the game because.
The combat, it's tough to speak on the combat. The dungeons are a fucking mess. So I've only been able to run the first dungeon, which you unlock at 25, which I think is pretty steep. Coming from a person who's played Elder Scrolls and you unlock the first one at 10.
And you already have your 3 abilities and know what you're doing, but way before level 25.
Yeah, and 25, like I said, is you have to do a lot of go to the town board, go back, go to the town board, go back, or go run these missions.
The washing machine.
The main quest line, sometimes when you do the main quest line, it's 3 kilometers away. Do you know how long it is to run?
Yes, I got a 1.7 kilometer once, and I was like, oh, why?
And
why,
those are short ones. If I see 1.7 now, I'm like, cool, that's not that far to run.
Guaranteed, just turn on auto run and just tab out and just go look at my phone for a little while.
I do like the auto run system, which is in a lot of
auto run is valuable,
which has became sort of a norm in MMOs and stuff. Or maybe not auto run. I know with WoW, you like if you don't want to use a mount
as well. It's got auto run.
They have auto run. They also have the travel system where like you pay for it and then it automatically takes you there.
Flight paths, there are portals in the main cities, kind of like the same way where you can fast travel, but like you can't. You have to be in one of the main cities in order to do it. Yeah. Unless it's like a class specific ability. But like WoW is what I base a lot of my judgments of this game off of, and wow, it's crazy that after playing New World, I had grown sick of WoW, and I see that WoW does a lot of things right. WoW does do a lot of things very well. Even still to this day. And New World, New World's just kind of. I haven't had a bad time, but it's kind of clunky. They need to. The movement delay. The movement delay for me is just like immediately. As soon as I load into the game, and it takes like a second for the character to turn left and right. It's not like instant. It's just it's a turn off for me. But that's nitpicking, right? Once you get around, like the movement's not bad. Combat, I found that dodging is helpful sometimes, and sometimes not so much. It's not. Maybe I just haven't got a good feel for it yet. But the parry and attack, I like that. I like that part of the combat. I think that's a good way to make people like be up in the face of enemies and like be actively fighting them. I've been playing with a short sword so far, and I have not changed my playstyle yet. So. I can't even speak to the ice gauntlet or the ranged combat or even like different.
Ranged
I know
combat
so many
is
different.
obsolete.
Oh really?
Melee will destroy. Now this, from what I've seen, melee will destroy ranged combat 9 times out of 10.
I bet ranged is maybe for PvP. Maybe
PvP doesn't matter.
Be sneaky.
It doesn't matter for PvP. Blake, would you agree that range combat's not even needed? I mean, I do like that it's added into the game, but like really the only range...
I see a lot of people using the ice gauntlet though.
That's because it was new, and people like the new weapon. But after using the ice gauntlet...
Meta is like 2-hand maul or whatever, and like max strength, and you just slam things.
Use 2-hand maul. Range is huge for PvP, but not PvE.
Boom.
I have dodged many a bullet in PvP because it's a skill shot.
PvP yet? I can't wait to.
It's a skill shot. So I mean, yeah, I do like that. The game is mostly skill shots, but like, I will still see myself running up in people's faces, and if I'm going to do PvP, I'm gonna run in your face, and we're gonna fight close combat.
Yeah, same. That's how I prefer to PvP as well.
I haven't, because of people's ability being able to escape. I mean, yeah, that's all fine and well, but what are they going to do? They're going to mount up and run away? No, they're going to run at the same
We're just
speed I'm
be
running.
chasing each other for 40 minutes until I cut the corners just right.
Yeah, so
get one hit on you. Like, I hate that shit. That was WoW back in the day.
To me,
it was frustrating.
Range combat needs to be fixed because PvE wise, there's no reason to use it unless you're using a. But okay, let's talk about 1v1 then. How many 1v1 PvPs have you been in and you've lost because they were using range? That's the problem I'm getting at. Is if you try to one-on-one somebody, the range should have... if you can outskill somebody in range, then you should be able to kill them just as easily as you should with a sword. And you can't. You just can't. If your abilities are Yeah, good crowd control. That's all it's good at.
That's what ranged is all about, is being a crowd controlling piece of shit and
Yeah,
not getting
you're
hit
crowd
at all
controlling,
while you're
but if
dealing
you're-
damage. It's so frustrating
if
fighting
you're-
good range.
Where'd your
characters.
glasses go?
Upstairs. I took them off
Oh.
with the exercise.
If you're 1v1ing though,
Can
it
you
doesn't
see?
matter.
I can, yeah.
Even if you're getting crowd controlled in a group, it doesn't matter. They can crowd control all they want. It's not doing enough damage for me to think it's a great way.
But while they're turning you around, they're just smacking you constantly, over and over and over again, and you can't get to them because they are CCing you. And I'm assuming that they're able to move while you're firing a bow, or do you stand stationary?
still
This is
have
how
to
I
be
just
accurate.
Don't know. Yeah, I believe
You
it.
still have
I
to be
believe it,
accurate.
yeah.
And if I dodge left or right, you now have to pull it back again, and I'm a step closer.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have what? A cooldown.
So you better learn to strafe like it's Apex.
Now,
strafe it.
now
in the
you
world.
have a cooldown. You have a 10-15 second cooldown until you get that crowd control back. So now I'm close.
Oh yeah.
And now I have a crowd control that I can hit the ground, and now you're stunned, and now we're right next to each other. So what are you going to do now?
I haven't even used all my abilities yet. Like I'm still,
I'm
still even hesitant. I don't even use my abilities that much. When I'm engaging like with one mob, I'll just block or parry and then attack. Like I don't lead with combos or abilities yet. I don't know why.
I just think the combat system needs to be fixed a little bit to make range a viable option. I won't ever use range if it becomes. I won't ever use range
Even if it
unless
does
becomes,
become viable?
like viable.
Yeah.
I can't see any reason
Are
to
you
use it.
saying like I won't use it unless it's OP?
No, I didn't mean it like that.
No, I know.
But I mean, like, I don't see any reason for it. I have to carry around bullets. I have to carry around arrows.
That's stupid
I have to
too. They
craft
should add their own equipment
with
slot.
the-
for
Is it
bullets and
only
and let
arrows?
them stab
arrows
upon
and bullets. There's a
themselves.
musket.
With a significant weight reduction, so it doesn't
And
weigh in
then
your inventory.
where the probably run into with the
Fucking
stabs is they use mana, and the mana regen. Now my mana's not high, or my intelligence isn't high, or focus, whatever recharges it faster, isn't high.
Your
But the
character
mana
dumb as
regen
hell.
is. The
Mine is.
the mana regen is horrible.
Doesn't
From
even
where
know
I
what a
use the Ice
door is.
Gauntlet,
He can't open doors that are already unlocked.
Intelligence
Your
like
intelligence
level
level's too low.
I cast, my abilities for my ice gauntlets, and now I have to wait for it to recharge for me to use my ice gauntlet.
That's weird.
It costs 2 mana each time I cast it. Just no
it's
using
gotta be
abilities.
the focus. It's gotta be. there.
It probably is.
I was building pure focus, and I was gonna be like a healer with a staff of life, and Blake was like, "Stop! You need to stop." Put it into
Healers
strength.
are
and, like,
very important.
dude. I will be when I get up to. I think you can't respec for free after level 20, right? So probably level 19. I'm probably
In the beta,
gonna,
you
like-
can respec as much as you want.
Okay, then I'll probably try it out because
You
I'm
can
looking forward to
respec
being a
at
healer,
any time.
and I could be a potential healer into this game. Because
When's this game's full release?
I like utility
August
roles. I like
31st.
filling
That's
utility
what I
roles.
thought.
I've been tank, I've been
there's
healer,
no
I've been
tank.
DPS. I've done all this shit before.
There's-
So healer is valuable, and
From what I've seen, there's absolutely no way to tank.
you stay busy as a healer. So
Oh, yeah.
that's how I like to play those kinds of games. Stay
I-
busy, which
The
means you
support
constantly
roles.
get loot, which means you're constantly up there. I know how to grind, baby. But this game, I think, for me, what I've experienced is that it doesn't even like reward exploration. Like you go to these different places, and I'll jump around and like search all these nooks and crannies for nothing. Like there may be a book there, but it's. I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it.
The world's
you
a
know? And
little
I'm
bare.
spending a lot of time in these different like points of interest around the map, and like going and finding these question mark areas and looking at for what. For what? I get
To
nothing out
discover.
of these places to discover them, so I can come back here for a mission from the fucking town hall board and kill the enemy boss, which I've already killed 3 times. You know, like that's been my experience with the game so far. It's not kept me going to different areas and engage like in zones, like it is in WoW or even in RuneScape, where you go to different areas. You know, you're just kind of confined within the same game area if you're just doing these town hall missions over and over again. To me, that's a big issue. That's a big.
why
You
I'm
have
saying-
all this map space. You have all this game. What are we doing just right here with no incentive to leave this area? Also, to go to these different parts of the map is going to take me 30 or 45 minutes. You know, it's a problem. Yep.
That's why I'm saying that the XP.
Oh, I am tanking.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that the XP needs to
Ain't
be
tanking
fixed because
nothing.
you have no reason to not just sit in town and go back and
You
forth.
just grind and talk shit in game chat all day while you're leveling up and making money. You know,
Yeah, it's
without leaving
stupid.
the town.
It's so stupid. So
Definitely reminds me of
Is your
WoW.
phone ringing?
yeah, it's Blake. Now-
Just fucking answer it. Just answer it. Why does it keep calling you?
Yeah, I'll answer it the next
Yeah,
time.
you
We'll get my
right.
thought out. Now, I will say, there's one problem I also have, which is it's a player based economy. So what some people like to do is buy low, sell high.
Right.
Which is
baby.
That's any game though that has a player based economy.
Be a fucking scumbag and buy it all up off the market and relist it.
Yeah.
They will buy your prices or no one's.
All right, now you got to
They
answer.
will.
That's all I'll say on it.
You got to answer
The
now.
other thing that I like is what?
The other thing that I like is
You stop right now. Don't you dare spill my secrets.
I'm not.
that's
You just
hilarious.
spilled them.
He literally like, do not get it patched, please.
You
We'll be
cannot spill the
pissed.
secrets. The secret is the mana potions, and I'll say it now.
You're on live.
That's fine. I'm gonna say it now.
It's hilarious.
The
Didn't even
secret is
spill the
mana
beans.
potions. They are the weakest potion in the game. They are utterly useless. They give you about 20 mana.
But they
in
sell
total,
for so high.
But they sell
Because of the
for
town
more
board missions. Because
than
people
the
do
strong
what I
health
just said.
potions. They sell for 20 gold each, and 20 gold's a lot. Like 20 gold is actually.
So
a
can
lot
you
of gold.
craft these mana potions, or are you just buying from a
You
vendor?
can craft
You
them.
go down to a river, you collect briar buds. You get one every single time you collect a briar branch. They respawn very quickly. Like you can run through a whole patch and collect the briar buds, and then come back and make hundreds of these potions and sell them for any. Like if you want to sell them quick, you sell them for 10 gold. If you want to sell them moderately quick, you sell them for 20. Because like Q was saying earlier, was the quickest way to get XP is through your town board. And some of those quests require you to have 20 of those mana potions. If you sell those for 10 gold each, you just made 200 gold. That's more than you'd make off 10 missions. If you sell them
Which
for
is
20 gold
wild,
each, you just
which-
made 400 gold.
And you're still you're not getting experience that way, but you're getting gold. And really, what is the purpose? Like, is there any incentive?
Hold on.
to just
Are you
be
selling the
maxed
mana
out with
potions
gold?
to other players?
Yeah, because it's a player-based economy.
Okay.
And an auction house.
Auction
Okay,
house
see,
or-
that makes more sense. If you were selling it to an NPC merchant,
for
that would
you,
be stupid.
And then you sell the rest that you don't
Stupid.
need. Because of how
Stupid.
easy, they literally require a briar bud and a water. You collect 10 water every time you pick up water from a river. You collect 1 briar bud every time you harvest a plant.
A broken system.
Broken. Thank you for that call in.
It's a player-based economy. That's it.
So another thing I'll say, I guess I'll just leave you on the call for right now. Another thing I do like, one thing I do like, because everything I've listed so far has been gripes, but with the beta, you need to gripe so they can know what to fix.
Yeah.
Great.
What I do like is there is the incentive to want to self-preserve. So honestly, Blake will agree with me on this. Making weapons in the preview was viable. I don't see any reason to make weapons anymore, do you? Because I can't make a weapon that's worth a
And you
shit.
have to spend your upgrade points on crafting in order to craft
don't
better
know.
stuff, right?
Just by levels. You unlock shit through levels. But, it costs all this extra shit that you got to run an hour and a half around for to get all the stuff for it. And then I can run the dungeon once, and I just
And
sat
get
there and
something better.
crafted something that took an hour to do.
Same as
and
World of Warcraft, the exact
so
same.
why, but in the preview, did we not make all of our weaponry and armor and shit?
So the weapon crafting, that's accurate. In the preview, in the pre-beta or whatever it was, post-alpha, whatever they want to call it, making weapons was great. That was like your best alternative to getting higher gear with more damage and more stats and everything. It is viable if you're looking for a specific build. Now you can go and, like you said, to those dungeons and get, level 25 gear that, has a gear score of 370, but is it going to have the right specs you want? Is it going to be the right tier you want? So like it does help, especially later game, because you can't get star metal rapiers or swords or anything, or star metal armor or orichalcum. Like the best in-game gear is the orichalcum, unless you do in-game dungeons. So that the crafting does help, and I think they will tune it. But right now, it's not as viable as it was before, and I think that those are one of those things they're going to fine tune after the beta.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not good early game. It's only good end game.
But you have to build.
Understanding of the crafting and how it works. So it's like one of those things that's very in depth, and you got to really understand it in order to make it work in your favor.
Yeah. For it to be, so the only way for it to be a viable thing, to me, is basically what I think I'm going to do, unless they fix the crafting system, is as soon as I load in the game, I'm going to say fuck all to leveling up, and I'm just going to level up all of my crafting shit.
Yeah.
And then go play the game, because if I want, because in order to make steel weaponry that is supposed to be viable at level 25 or 20, you have to have 50 weaponsmithing. I had to make 150 iron battle axes in order to get that. I spent an hour and a half getting 700 iron.
Yeah.
Iron bars. It's 3 iron ore per bar.
Yeah, you were busting up them rocks.
I had to chop down and get about 700 wood. I had
dude.
I had to get. Then you have to kill, like the rabbits.
Oh, with the pristine fur or whatever.
No. You just have to make leather.
Yeah.
So you have to have leather. You have to have some sort of cloth. You have to have some sort of
everything
wood,
takes so long. Harvesting with the flint tools takes so long.
Well, yeah, because
let's talk about the obtainability of that. If you do the math there, you're using 7 ingots. Let's just count ingots. You're using anywhere from 7 to 10 ingots per.
It's
per
12
battle axe, or 12 ingots per battle axe. It takes 4 iron ore to make 1 iron ingot, right? So now you have.
That's ignorant.
How many did you make? You said 170, right?
Yeah, I made like 150 battle axes. It was something stupid.
So we'll say 150, and then you times that by 12 because you use 12 iron ingots for each one. So that's 1,800 iron ingots. And then if you needed 4 iron, if you're going to obtain that yourself, you need 4 iron for every ingot. That's 7,200 iron ore you need. And the average amount of iron you get is anywhere from like 12 to 24 per each rock. So we'll just say you got a minimum of 12 from each one. You're looking at 600 iron veins you have to mine in order to obtain just the minimum to get to level 50 weaponsmithing.
Yeah, that's how dumb the crafting is. So to me, if they don't rework it, I might as well just start the game off doing that. I might as well get my mining up. I might as well get my wood
but who wants to do that?
Nobody.
Is the problem. No, I don't want to play a game where I gotta do that.
If I can go run something that takes 30 minutes to get a way better item than that. And with the amount of drops that the first dungeon has, you're going to get something better than what you can craft unless you've spent hours working on your crafting.
And let's talk about the other part of it. The requirements you need per the city you're in to do it. So you not only, like for steel, you need a tier 3 forge. That means the city you're in has to be a good city where they're actually the faction owning that has to be putting money into and resources into upgrading that to a tier 3 forge. As well as you have crafting prices or crafting taxes, trading taxes, XP rates, all that stuff. So you have to be in a good territory that's in a good standing with crafting rates and a good research and development, effort towards the city that the faction or by the faction leaders in order to even get to that point. So early game, it's not worth it. You're not going to be able to get steel because how long did it take before someone bought a town? It was Syndicate Purple. They paid $100K to get a town, and then they ultimately lost it because they screwed everything up. They had no idea how to run a town. They didn't upgrade anything. They just kicked everybody out of the faction and said, this is our town, and now everyone got screwed. And now Green owns it, and it does well, but we're, over a week into it, and we just now have a Tier 3 forge.
Green owns it?
Way past that area. So now
I didn't know that Green took it over.
Level, don't even need a Tier 3 more. They need a Tier 4. And we're not even at Tier 4 yet.
Damn.
Because people instead spent the time leveling, and they already have better gear, so it's just pointless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so literally at this point, unless they rework the entire crafting, then just take it out of the fucking game.
Something for them to, definitely.
Because I'm not going to spend hours of my time where I could spend leveling up, gathering resources to craft to not make something better.
Yeah, it's just not fun enough.
Making blue weapons, making green weapons, we're making purple weapons in the preview. We were making like epics and a bunch of rares. We made a lot. And now
it's also a lot easier. The XP rates
yeah,
are crazy high.
I mean they are crazy high, but I mean I think it's agreeable that you shouldn't. The XP rates should be high. If I'm going to be able to run a 30-minute dungeon, get a better weapon, then make the XP rates higher in crafting, so I can make that myself, or I don't have any reason to want to do it.
No, they screwed that up though because you have to think of RuneScape and the way RuneScape did it, which is the most broken system when it comes to weapon making and armor smithing, was that you had to get to 99 just to make level 40 gear. It took you average of a month in-game time to get to 99 smithing just to make level 40 armor. How does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean,
That is so
Yeah.
true.
I never
used to
looked
spend
at it
so
that way,
much time mining
but-
and smithing, and it was like I never level 50 or 60, and I literally spent hours and hours and hours, and I was never able to make armor for myself. It took so long to get to adamantite.
The only reason I ever did any skilling on RuneScape, like when I was actually playing real RuneScape, was to make money. After that, I wasn't doing it for anything. I wasn't building myself armor. I wasn't building my fletching arrows. I wasn't doing any of that. That was pointless to me because I can buy it after I
Gathering
make
professions
money.
that get money,
Yeah.
and it's
But let's
good.
also compare, like the point I was talking about was old school RuneScape. And luckily, Jagex did learn from their faults. And in the new RuneScape 3, you can make rune armor at level 40 smithing. You can make
How it should
Masterwork
be.
armor at level 90 and 99, which is the best armor in the game. Full trim Masterwork in RuneScape 3 is the best armor you get in the game, and it requires 99. That is scaled to level, and that's how it should be. So New Worlds needs to look at these MMORPGs and how they are now and kind of, not copy them, but at least take notes. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
I
like
think-
you were saying, it's not viable.
I think they should copy them. I think they should go level. I think
Something
they
better
should
than what they
go-
got now.
I think they should go level for level. If I need to be level 20 to use this weapon, then I only need to have 20 weaponsmithing. If I have to be 30 for this, then make it 30 weaponsmithing. Because for me to have to get to 50 weaponsmithing, I mean, yeah, it only took like 3 or 4 hours, but I mean,
Add mounts. Add mounts. It made it way less grindy.
But
Add
honestly,
mounts.
the 3 or 4 hours, half of it was running.
Yes.
Which is a problem.
Yes.
I mean, not a terrible problem because I know a little strip that has a lot of iron. And I figured out where a spot
found a
was.
spice, yeah.
Worldsfans.com, hello.
I
Exactly.
promise you, it can
Exactly.
it can show all at once. But I promise you, this spot has about 9 to 10 big iron veins with about 3 or 4 next to it.
Damn.
So I found a nice little spot I could run through and then run back and then run through and then run back and then keep doing that over and over again. But that was just to be able to make steel armor or steel weaponry, and it's like capped gear score when you first start making steel armor or weaponry is 310. I already have like 350 weapons.
Yeah, there's literally no reason.
So what am I
Literally
doing?
no
I thought I
incentive,
was
yeah.
going to get steel weaponry, and it was going to be like, oh, it's like this space of like 350 to
But
380.
you have to keep up because what's after steel? You never know. You're gonna
But
have to make whatever next level of
You
weaponry.
also have to have the component skills to make it better. So you have to also get up your woodworking. You have to also get up your tannery. You have to your tannery, because the way you get better things is you're using steel, but you're still using shit wood and shit cloth. Now you have to find a way to make better wood, so you have to get your woodworking up. You have to get your whatever it is, tannery up. So now you have to do 3 skills in order to make, really 4 skills in order to make a better.
It's different. It's different than other MMOs. How they do it.
That's where it becomes a problem too. Is that you would have to like perfectly balance the two, to where you're tailoring your skilling levels or your whatever trade skills to the same level as your combat skills, and nobody wants to do that because everybody wants to level up quick and get all the XP so that they can be fucking 35, 45, do the cool events and dungeons and activities and stuff like that. But nobody wants to balance the time to do the trade skills as well, because then you're losing so much XP that you could be gaining levels off of, and you're going to be like the last person that gets 65. Like, you're going to have all the levels there, and it is it might be beneficial, but at the same time everybody else is already going to be 65 running in-game dungeons, getting gold helmets and chest plates and stuff, and you're going to be this guy over here at level 45 that can make star metal armor or weapons and all that stuff, and it's great. But you could have just spent your time leveling and getting the gear much quicker and easier, and you would be at the end game already.
No, I mean, to me, to me, the way it is now, it's pointless. I have no reason. To me, I have no reason to sit there and craft or do anything all day when I could just run through. The XP is broken. Blake, you might be able to agree with this. You should not be able to get 3,600 XP from a town board mission and get 600 XP from something you had to kill like 15 things on.
It is broken. It's definitely messed up because, like we were saying, you get those mana potions, you go buy them, and you can level up faster than somebody actually playing the game. You can buy your way theoretically.
Yeah, that's pretty
to level
fucking
65
dumb.
as opposed to the other one.
Inexcusable from a huge game like this.
They found a way to make it pay to play, but in-game currency pay to win, basically.
Yeah, true.
They made a way for it to be.
Know the meta or
10
suffer.
mana potions that take 10 water and 10 briar buds. It would take you a total of 5 minutes to gather those resources. You just got anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 XP, depending on your territory standing, if you put it in XP. Whereas you go do a level 25 corrupted zone that is pretty difficult. It requires 3 people, and you just got 700 XP off that. And it took you more time to do that and more skill and playing the game than it did to just make mana potions. It doesn't make sense.
And even with, you don't even have to make the mana potions. You don't even have to make the stone brick. You don't have to make the wood. You just go to the trade post and buy it.
And you buy it from me, and I make 100 GP or 100 gold off of you buying, or actually 200 gold off you buying it, and I'm out here just.
Funny story.
What
Funny
fucking
story.
losers are just sitting around buying mana potions?
Funny, because they're trying to do the town board.
They're literally
missions.
just trying to.
Oh,
run
they want the XP from
Yeah.
the town board mission.
So
Yeah.
funny story earlier. I did what I bought the mana low and then put it at the lowest price but higher than what I bought it for. And he goes in there. He goes, "What idiot put it in here for this price?" And then I saw gold pop up on my screen. I was like, "You just bought that from me, bitch."
Yeah. He's like, all right, whatever, my game.
Q made 700-800 gold off that. I made almost 2,000 gold off of his sell.
Yep.
So it's like, did he make gold? Yes, but he could have made more.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I was
That's what
following
the-
your 15 and
that's
20.
what player-based
and then
economy
for some
is.
reason, I guess it switched from 20 to
You got to
25.
keep on monitoring and man, I used to run the auction house on WoW. It's a lot.
What was your name on
Control
there?
the
Oh, I had
economy.
dumb names.
Things get rough.
I remember
because
your
people
last one
like
was
me can
If
go
You
in
Suck, man.
Everfall, and I can
My
buy
first ever name was
every
High
single
Again.
mana potion on there.
Why?
and for 10 gold or whatever people are selling them for, like literally buy every single one and
Chad's
sell them
dad.
all for 100
Yeah,
gold
we're
each.
named Chad.
And now
I play
people
with him.
have
Name
to
my
pay
character
that
Chad's
because I'm the
dad.
monopoly there. Because the game is not controlling
Big
what the
Ralph
economy is based
Big
on.
Rick Ross.
And instead the players are. So
Don
that's
Frico?
going to be a
Big
potential
Rick Ross.
problem when the game
Literally
drops.
name.
Is that all these people are going to be buying all these stupid items that you need or that you want, but they're going to be selling for ridiculous prices because there's no trade limit on it. There's no price cap. There's no price minimum. The game doesn't control it. The players do. So it's going to screw everything
Yeah,
up.
I mean, that's the same. It's like that in every other MMO, though.
To go off of what you said with the names, my name on there now, because I made a new character, is Oops, I Tooted.
I saw. I'm so dumb.
Oops,
So,
I
I
Tooted.
tooted, baby.
my
I might just
closing
keep it.
thoughts.
You muted yourself.
My closing thoughts on this game.
What do you mean I muted myself?
Rough. It's rough around the edges. If I were to compare it, and I give WoW or RuneScape a 7 out of 10,
You should be able
I
to.
give
It
this
shows that we're
game a
talking.
5.5 out of 10 so far.
Oh.
So far, it's really how I
That's
feel.
not.
It's really how I feel so far. I got
That's not what Amazon wants to hear.
the music sounds good.
Thank you for your
Your
thoughts.
phone. I cannot hear you on the phone.
Yeet, 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 yeet. My mic is still picking up, so.
No, he's talking about through the fucking
Oh,
voice
well,
call, homie.
Kiss
I
me
don't know
through
what
the
happened, but I didn't
phone.
mute it. I'm gonna hang up.
See you when I
so
get home.
You said you give it a 5.5 in
Ooh.
current state.
Yes, that's been
about
my
you?
experience.
Q will give it a
But, dude,
7.
put mounts. This game is a grind. I can tell already that without significant changes, I'm gonna get pissed playing
The
this
no
game.
mounts is a
Fast.
serious problem.
I'm going
Facts.
to give a full unbiased.
By the way, I've been
score.
playing on my phone this whole time, but I
That's
have been
okay.
listening.
Yeah, you have actively.
I'm going to give you a fully unbiased score. Yours is very unbiased, but I'm going from someone who's bought the preview. And
I haven't
wait
played
for this
enough
game
of it
for a
either
year.
yet. Like, this is such an early impression. There's still so much of the game
Give it a
maybe
solid
left
7 out of 10.
to change me.
That's pretty close to what I'm giving it. I'm actually going to give it a slightly lower score. I'm going like a 6, 7 out
Yeah.
of 10.
6.7. Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
Give it a
you never
fucking
know.
6. Dude, I don't even really want you to give it a 6.5. Give it either a 6 or a 7.
I'm giving it like a solid 6.
But if he's
7.
not gonna say 7, it's got to be 6. Otherwise, he would say 7. It's got in the world of gaming, it's a strong 6 and some change. You know,
Yeah,
almost
so
a 7.
I'm giving it the
But
scale
it's a
it
6.
deserves. As in, it's
give
not
it
a
a
game
5
I don't
for
think
me.
it's a 6 game.
The soundtrack's not bad.
Yeah.
I give it that. Like
I don't give the game. I don't think
the
the game
enemies
is a
aren't
6.
bad. AI is a little clunky too. Like the AI acts weird sometimes.
What does the
like,
game
watch 'em
look
getting
like
stuck.
visually?
It's actually a
Oh,
very
it's not
beautiful
bad.
game.
Yeah. Visually,
If
graphics
you could
are
run
nice.
it, it's a very beautiful game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my shit turned down low and it's still nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's as bad as
What
a 6.
what frames are y'all playing on?
I run low on I think it's 1440, and I sit around 70 frames.
Between 30 and 60, depending on what's on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like
Yeah.
you're capping at 60 on yours.
Dude, in the main cities, on my laptop upstairs, on my laptop, I'm not even on my PC. On my PC, I'm sure it'd be like way better, but on my laptop upstairs, running a 1070, old fucking gaming laptop, I'm still doing okay until I get into the cities, and then it's like, oh
Frames,
god,
yeah, 'cause
it's
there's
just
so
like it
many
used to be with
things on
WoW,
screen.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many people, and they don't phase it out. That's another complaint, right? They need to have phases in their servers and not let everybody like congest your screen where like you can't
Yeah.
even see shit because there's just hundreds of fucking people sitting around doing nothing. Man, it's just because that's the state of the game right now in beta. It's super popular. We'll see what it looks like when it actually launches and how long the player base sticks around, or how popular the game is. But I'll tell you right now, yeah, for me, I'm sticking by at 5.5.
So
Strong.
my
It's a
thing is,
5. It's a
I
5
don't
out of
think
10
it's
for
as
me.
bad as a 6. But I
Yeah.
don't think it's as good as a 7 right now.
Yeah.
That's why I give it the in-between score of a 6-7. I'm pushing more towards a 7, but I don't think it's at a 7. I
Put
think,
some dumb shit in there.
You gotta
I
think
want
it's
to be
something
able to
new.
troll people.
yeah, it's something
and, like,
new. It's
play
a completely new
Musical
developer,
instruments while
completely
following
new
them and
publisher.
harass them.
Yeah, this is Amazon's first dipping their toes into this kind of
And-
shit. So
I think as a first release game for them, it's a pretty solid game for a first release. They don't, if not taking off the blueprint of other MMOs.
Dude, yes, but who do you think Amazon fucking bought?
That's what I'm
like,
gonna say.
Amazon's the richest
That was the
company.
next
They're
thing I was
probably
gonna say.
buying like the best people on the fucking market. Like if you want to come
Amazon,
work for us, show us your worth.
yeah.
Because we're gonna pay you what we think you're worth.
Amazon doesn't
has
even
a
have to
lot
know
of
what
money
the
to
word
attract
video game
big
means.
talent.
all they have to do is hire the best person to do it, and they can still slap their name on
So
it.
I
And
think
that developer
because it
wouldn't
is
give
a
shit.
nice game, it's like they tried. It's just they fell flat in a couple areas.
How much is Amazon worth? Like
Oh,
800 billion or something?
Yeah. forgot to mention-
They're- they're
one of the
actually,
most
like,
valuable
nearing
companies in
1
the world,
trillion.
if
Another
not the
thing
most valuable
that
company in
needs
the
to
world.
be
They are
fixed.
the most valuable.
Yeah.
There needs to be a
Jeff
swimming
Bezos
animation.
will be the
Oh
first
yes,
trillionaire, by the
swimming,
way.
There's
please,
not a
God,
swimming
don't let
animation.
me.
You just walk through
Don't-
the water, even if it's over
Even if
top
like
of your
you're
head.
fatigued after a
That's,
while of
that's
swimming or
not
something, you can
good.
only swim
That's
for a
just
little
not smart.
while.
Yeah,
You
it's-
just like walk down and
it's
like your
lazy.
head just
Yeah, it's
goes
lazy.
under and you're just dying of. It's so stupid.
So,
stupid.
that's
You get
another
10
thing
seconds
needs
to get
to
out.
So
of the
you
water.
can't swim in general.
No.
You
And
just
when you're in the
walk on
water, you just
floor.
walk. Okay.
Yeah, but there's no bodies of water that go super far over your head, or you're in there too long. But I mean, you could add.
You can tell that you're in the wrong area if you like after you do it the first couple times. You're like, okay, don't go in the water. Which is taking away a part of the game.
The company
for
holds
a
a
big
valuation
MMO.
of 1.7
Come on now, what the
trillion.
fuck? You can't swim? What are we doing?
Amazon's
the fuck are we
worth
doing?
1.7 trillion.
That's what I'm saying. No.
Oh,
excuse.
they have already surpassed 1
No
trillion.
excuse.
Okay, so Jeff Bezos is nearing. He will be the first trillionaire. I don't think someone's going to take it from him. Now, when I say this, I mean he will be the first capitalist trillionaire.
legal document.
Legally documented,
Yeah.
like this is how much is in the bank kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the Saudi like oil tycoons, they're worth amounts of money that don't exist. The numbers don't exist.
Correct.
Like we actually can't figure out how much they're worth. Some of those families are worth, if you want to throw a number out there, like 1-2 quadrillion, if you want it. But their wealth, you can't even count it. No one really even knows how much they own. I mean, they have entire houses made of pure gold, which is really dumb because they don't work very well. They're just essentially like to look at. But
Imagine shitting on a gold toilet.
yeah, I mean,
So dumb.
the like Saudi
Sitting on
royal
toilet.
family, a lot of the royals
on toilet.
in Saudi Arabia. So I mean, one of the poorest
true.
places on the planet and
Yeah,
one of the
true.
richest. How does that work?
I was India. It's true.
Yeah.
Word from the streets.
Think about Dubai. Dubai
Oh,
is
yeah.
the richest city on the
Insane
planet.
wealth there.
Yet I can spit from Dubai and hit 10,000 homeless people.
And the people who made
Hold on a
Dubai
second.
are all third country.
I would not spit on homeless people. That did not sound. That didn't come out right.
You just said
what
you
I'm
spit on
saying
homeless
is,
people.
I just
We'll end it
heard
there
him
if you
say
ain't getting
within
hate homeless
pissing
people.
distance, within pissing distance,
you piss on 'em.
is the worst. Yeah, there we go. Is the worst, some of the worst poverty in the world.
wouldn't
You could just
spit on 'em,
literally
but I'll
like
piss
say,
on 'em.
"Hey,"
Piss
and they
right
would
on
be
their
like,
face.
"Hello." Some of the most impoverished people in the world live 5 feet
That's
away
true.
from
And
the richest city
the
ever
most
built.
like human rights ridden or violations ridden area is the Middle East. Let's be real. That's why there's a big protest right now towards Qatar and them hosting hosting the World Cup because
Oh
they've
my
used
God.
slave labor as like the
Not
politically
only
incorrect
that,
term, but
why
the
has
correct
Qatar
term,
been able to
slave
buy
labor.
themselves into every FIFA tournament? Why is that allowed?
I don't
They're
know.
a
Hey,
part of the
hold up,
Middle
hold
East.
up. Qatar?
Why are they playing in the
Qatar?
CONCACAF nations? Why are they playing
they're
in the Europe?
invited
In
the
the Europe,
same way they were invited to the Gold Cup, like just like Japan.
bro,
was.
are they invited?
Sometimes, yeah, are
Who's
they
getting paid for
invited,
that?
or do they have
Qatar's
ties
paying
in
some people
but
for that.
They're smacking some teams.
You know,
they're
it's funny.
sending some teams
They're
home.
actually winning.
Yes.
They beat
We play,
Qatar.
if we don't beat Qatar, I have Qatar beating Mexico.
Yeah,
I
because
think
they're
Qatar
still in
wins
the
it all
Gold
if
Cup
they
right
beat
now,
us.
right?
Yes.
What are we in the round
play
of
them.
16 right now?
We play them
Lost.
next. Yes.
In the round of 16, we play them.
Yes.
No clue.
Dude, we really might
That's what I'm
lose.
saying.
We really might
It's-
lose that.
It's
Qatar
We'll
looked
see. Or maybe
good,
it's not
and
even
I
round of
think
16,
that's what
maybe
made
it's 8.
people very upset.
So-
Is that they were number one in their pool. They were number one in their pool play, and they're not a CONCACAF team. And people are like, "Why are they playing in this tournament?" They just did well. They
welcome
were
it.
just in a European
Elevate
tournament
the
too, and
competition
people are
level
like,
so everybody
"Why
gets
are they
better.
allowed to play in
I
this?"
welcome it. I totally welcome it. I would say throw us in with South America too, but we have no chance. So there's obviously a reason
That's what
we
it
don't
was.
play
They were in
with
a South American tournament recently.
Yeah.
You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Why is this Middle Eastern team allowed to be in the South American tournament? Like, but no, man. Them hosting the World Cup, it's dangerous for a couple reasons. For one, because they do have slaves there.
Yep.
It is of
Migrant
course a
workers
totalitarianism
have
government.
died in the hundreds
Yeah.
making these stadiums. And,
Yes.
getting the
They use
the
slave
country
labor.
ready for this.
But that was the other dangerous part. The summers there, 120 degrees.
Oh, dude.
So
for sure.
players
Not
have
in.
been saying for years
Hot as
that they
fuck.
don't want to play the World Cup in,
Yeah.
in Qatar because you're talking like everybody, unless
They
you
did
build
move this World
mega
Cup to
complexes that are
To winner. Yeah, they did.
So that's okay. So
But,
that's
I mean,
that's smart.
It's still, like, what the fuck are we doing? Moving
Yeah.
it.
You could have a mega
Accommodate this country
complex.
that we shouldn't be playing has no
millions
history
of dollars in
soccer
air
anyways.
conditioning.
What has Qatar contributed to soccer?
No, exactly nothing.
Where's the heritage? No, it doesn't exist. They're buying it. They're buying their way into it, and it's just degrading the integrity of the sport. Is what it does, man.
And how does Qatar
It's
have all this
unfortunate,
money?
but that's what's happening across all sports.
Amazon.
Sadly, the same kind of reason that the
Oil.
Saudis do. No, it's oil, man. They control all the fucking oil.
It's
Yeah,
all
Amazon.
Jeff
The Saudis,
Bezos.
Saudi Arabia, and Qatar control like most of the world's oil.
fix it,
Now, here's
put
what's
mounts in the
interesting
game.
though. Over the last 10 or 15 years, really, if you want to say who actually has the most oil, not who's in control of,
Who has the
but
most
who
reserves?
has the most oil reserves, it is us. It's
America.
it's America.
America.
Which is funny because what was always the first thing a politician would say why we're fighting the war in the Middle East, why we have people in the Middle East. People would always tell you, well, the Americans want to control the oil. We successfully did that a long time ago. I'm not saying that it's all ours, and I'm not saying we got all the money from it, but we have the most oil reserves. We definitely do. America does, not the Middle East. The Middle East has oligarchies. They have royal families that just fucking sit on top of it and claim it as theirs and have all the wealth in the world. Like, we don't understand, and we can't. We'll never be able to reach some middle ground and work with anyone. It's not gonna happen. No one's gonna be able to clean up the Middle East because there's so much corruption on both sides. There's corruption from the American governments. There's corruption from the Middle East as far as some of the more totalitarianism places that only want the wealth with the government, with the royal family, and there's so much poverty and shit like that, and all these refugee groups. It'll be damn near impossible to, and I'm putting quotes on this, when we say control the Middle East, really all we're saying from a political standpoint, from a military-industrial
Nuke 'em.
complex, that's not at all what we're saying.
Right.
From a military-industrial complex, all we mean is we want to control the wealth. That's all we mean. We want to be able to control all the resources that come from there. We want our name to be on it. We don't want the royal families to be on it, and we can't do shit about it. So, like I said, bro, you ever hear about like these Saudi princes? The Saudi prince of something, and there was like 15 of them. He showed up at like some fight or whatever, like some boxing match, but like the press couldn't talk to him because his bodyguards were like straight up killing anybody that tried to fucking talk to him. And then it's like, okay, I wonder how much this guy's worth. No one knows. Nobody knows. And you really can't, it's hard to talk to these people too because they don't want to talk to the press. They don't want to talk to the American governments. But what's interesting is that comedians have the closest relationships to some of the like Saudi
and
princes.
athletes as well.
Yes,
Famous
weird.
athletes, yes.
Because they adore that, I mean, for whatever reason, a lot of Royal Middle Easterners, they adore Western civilization, like that counterculture of entertainment. They obsess over it. And they want to invite these people to come to their house and come meet me and my family. And the comedians and things that have, like, the comedians and people that have met these princes are like, they were born into this. They themselves are not a problem, but they also tell you that they have no power to change anything. They just kind of sit around with all their money.
It's the system. But the thing is okay, what's so crazy is eventually all that oil will mean nothing.
Nothing
at
all.
As we move away from oil-based everything,
we move away from
towards
fossil
renewable
fuels.
energy.
We start using the power
Dude,
of
a
farts.
huge shift in wealth. Exactly. We start harnessing our own farts, and we
Use
start
the
like
methane gas.
connecting the tubes from our anus directly to our mouths and
Well, we just
recycling
put
the
tubes
farts.
in cows, bro.
Non-stop, yeah, and like from
Every cow
straight
gets
to
a
the
tube in
cow's
its ass.
butt into
Gases.
my lungs, you know. And okay, all right. Anyways,
You put the tube from the
it
cow's
will.
butt
It will.
in your
It will be a
mouth, and then you
huge
fart it out.
shift in wealth as oil becomes less and less valuable. And it's crazy because it did already happen just this last year or the year before. Oil crashed and it was worth less than $1 a barrel. There were people who
$1 a
oil,
barrel.
I don't understand how it went negative. It went negative. It's almost like they're paying you to come take the oil. Please.
When was this?
Dude, this is in my deployment. So this is in 2020, like maybe January or February of 2020 when coronavirus went crazy. Oil dropped to all-time lows.
Do you think now this is getting a
All-time
little
lows.
too
It has
far
rebounded
political,
like
but
crazy. It was an investment opportunity as well.
I want to introspect. here.
Crazy.
Introspect.
Yes.
Do you think it was because? Do you think that oil was so cheap, or gas, or whatever you want to call it? Do you think gas was so cheap because we were in the process of drilling into those oil reserves that we have? And
I'm going to
then-
tell you why gas prices changed
And
real
then
quick,
they
because we got a new
That's
president.
all politics, for sure.
And
It's all politics.
Here we go. Yes, that is exact. Every fucking this is never not happened. By the
I'm
way,
speculating.
no, I know, and I want you to finish that point because it is a different one. But every time a new president has been elected, gas prices go up, so that the other party can blame the gas prices on the new president.
Bush is
This
the
has
most
never
notorious
not
for
happened.
doing it, but right before
This has
Obama
never not
came in,
happened.
Bush
Yeah.
did it, and it
Yes.
looked like Obama high gas prices up. Blah, blah, blah.
I didn't. Know
And what was one of the first fucking things that conservative news we're talking about? High gas prices. Is this because of the Biden administration? What the fuck? And then the Biden administration immediately came out and said, look at what the right wing's already trying. They're already trying to make me look bad. So both sides were quickly trying to get their words out. But this is never not. I'm going to get real with you right now. If Trump got reelected, okay, what would the liberal news stations say? Look at the fucking gas prices. Trump doesn't care
Look
about
at
us.
how bad COVID Delta is. Oh my God, so many people are. I don't know, right?
That's a touchy subject.
It is.
You're
It
really
is. It
touching
is.
into
I
a
know.
touchy-
But what we're
I went
saying
deep
is-
there.
I
I went
know,
deep
I know.
there.
You're just playing politics.
I know, and what
And it's
I'm
all
sa-
a shit show.
I
All of
was
it is a
saying-
shit show. It's
what I
all
was-
manipulated. What you watch and what you take in is all manipulated, and they want you to feel some type of way while you're watching it.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not
The
like your
point I
thoughts are
was
not.
fear
Fear mongering
the-
through the news is a serious problem. It's all
Didn't
fucking
he shut
propaganda.
down like all the pipelines that were within the United States.
So Biden shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, which had been a heated topic of debate for a long time. A huge gas pipeline that was supposed to bring oil sands or tar oil sands refined into like some. It's not crude oil, but it's like a thicker version of it, and it was huge, right? This had been in the works since 2008, and it had gotten shut down under Obama. Trump started it back up, and I know this because I did a little project on it, whatever. And as soon as Biden got into office, he's like, cancel it. Oh, Trump had said, yeah, go ahead, get it going. And this is a multi-million-dollar, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of money going into this project. And it probably would have brought gas prices down a little bit. The impact wouldn't have been huge, but it's like it's setting the policy for the United States, right? If we continue to build these gas and oil pipelines, then we are showing our reliance on this moving forward towards the future, right? Yes, Biden did come in and shut a lot of that down, and he said like
I
that's
didn't
just
know if
not
that
the way
caused
that
it
we are
or
moving
what,
as a
but
country.
I know what you're saying. It does constantly fluctuate
It's
as
political.
the presidents.
It
are
was
elected.
more political than it is even sensical, because logically it makes sense to build that pipeline, because regardless of if we make the money or not, the money's going to be made. That stuff is going to get harvested, and if we don't do it, China's going to do it. And I know that's kind of like a bad argument because you want to be like
China.
you know, the good people in the world, but the truth is it's going to
Big
happen.
water.
It's going to get into
Water,
the atmosphere
big water.
regardless. So
That
it makes
was the
sense
best
for
thing he
us to
ever said.
profit off of it and to
He didn't say the ocean.
prosper. But that's not what we did because we're more concerned with
It's the best.
public image, you know?
Just watch like hour-long videos of different compilations of things he said just running into one streamline.
Oh God.
And I don't care if you could be the biggest fan, you could hate him. I don't give a shit what your political stance is. It's just really funny to listen to him talk about certain things because, and I'll never forget, like I just said, instead of saying the ocean, he said water. We're talking big water, people. Across the water. Big water.
Yeah.
What? Just say the ocean. What are you talking about? And he always would go. I mean, dude, he would put quotes like China doesn't exist. He would go, China? What?
Yeah, true. Like,
What do you mean by
They're
that?
here right now. They're watching. They're attending.
People, China? Yeah, like,
Okay, and that's our review on.
We really
yeah.
sidetracked both times.
So you gave it 5.5. I gave it 6.7. Blake gave it a 7.
yo, how do we even get on that?
Because we went from Amazon talking about the money
Bezos.
he made to
To
Saudi,
Bezos
to
will be the
Qatar,
first capitalistic trillionaire. He will be.
to oil. Yeah.
So love to see it.
So an average score 6.7 plus 7 is 13.7, and then 13.7 plus 5.5 is 19.2.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Out
was
of
really
30.
bad.
Total possible score is 30. Out of 30,
30.
they got a 19.2.
So we're looking at like a
That's ass.
6.4 average.
Yeah.
Right around 6.4 average.
That's that Franklin County
Which
math.
means it's got to be the right game for you to enjoy. It's not a
At
game
least
that
in
I'd
its
say
current
go
state.
buy and pick up.
In its current state.
By the way,
Wait,
this is also a
wait,
PC
and
only
watch.
title for
This
people
is
that
my
don't know
official
that. This is not a
recommendation,
console
wait and
game.
watch and see
And
if
you
the
need a
developer
solid
can
rig
get
to
this
run
one.
it.
But the last point I'll make is $40.
True.
So
if you got friends that want to play.
$40 is not as bad as $60 and $70 that the newer games are coming out as.
Yeah, that like PS5 and Series X games are asking for $69.99 for their games.
So, but
Go. It's
that's
gonna
a
get
different
worse
topic.
And worse and worse. It's eventually $100 video games. You're right.
We'll hit on that next week.
They already got flack for that shit though.
6 point. Okay, but based off of my head math, it was close enough.
That's not bad.
Getting better.